Halo? Testing? Apakah sudah ada? Oh, udah. Halo? Yo, what's up guys? Semoga aja gak di takedown. Amin, amin. Ya langsung ya, ini kita scene aman dulu. Nanti kalau misalkan ada botnya, mereka yang nyari copyrightnya gak ketahuan dulu nih. Ya sabar, gue buka dulu streamnya. Wih, oke, terus ganti. Nah, oke. Cenet. Wah, ini Cenet katanya jago ini kayak Santaresnya Valorant nih, Cenet nih. Gue kecilin dikit. Guys, Cenet jago nggak katanya? Gue denger jago nih Cenet, kayak pemain Turkish the best lah. Si Cenet ini. Sabar, ini kenapa? Oh udah. Apa lo nggak izin? Nggak tahu kemana izinnya. Santares CSGO. Enggak, andaikan Santares main Valorant, maka itu adalah Cenet. Katanya gitu. Bang takut nggak? Nggak. Yang penting AdSense jalan. Apa nonton bahasa Inggris? Gak apa-apa, gue mau melihat Sean Gares nih, ganteng gak guys? Sean Gares ganteng gak nih? Ganteng ini dari zaman CSGO. Nomornya sambil deg-degan. Gak apa-apa, nambah emosi dikit. Ya jam 8 ya, 7 menit lagi santuy. Ini mereka digaji buat ngisi waktu ini. Digajinya buat ngisi waktu doang. Gimana lawan mana? Acen lawan SMB katanya. Oke, subtitle. Nggak usah, udah ngerti lah. Dukung siapa? Kurang tahu, gue nggak pernah nonton tim ini main. Pemain Turki ini. Rambutnya kayak rambut Dora sumpah si Cenet. Iya bro. Sen kapan main? Lusa kayaknya. Ya lusa kan? Sentinel grup D katanya. Wih.
Pesan Net Supremacy.
Wih. Ini fans beratnya Cenet ini si Polongnya. Thank you donatnya. Ya udah, semoga tim Acen menang. Tim Acen kan Cenet. Lawannya siapa sih? SMB gue gak pernah denger. Besok nobar Indo Pride. Iya PRX besok kan mainnya. Entahlah. Kalau belum di takedown kuy. Kalau ini di takedown didatengin orangnya. Hey please stop streaming without permission. Nah udah deh gue stop. Di takedown nih YouTube gue ke-ban tadi. Fan Sentinel. Banyak lah fan Sentinel. Tapi mainnya bukan hari ini. Ini masih group stage. Ini Dora ngomong ini sumpah. Rambutnya rambut Dora. Aku dukung RRQ. RRQ qualify saja tidak. Masuk turnamennya saja tidak.
Kakuka, I know you had some questions on what CNED is really like, you know, outside of the game, and that's got to be one of the most endearing things I have ever watched. How could you hate this guy? He's amazing. How can you say
Perex nggak ikut? Ikut. Mainnya tapi nggak hari ini. Mainnya nanti.
Sean, not for me. You gotta adore him. Of course, he's a player. He's a diri. I mean, I want more than just this time, so I'm waiting for that.
Post Berlin. Ada membernya Ragil. Ragil siapa? Ika kayak Deddy Kobuzier. Emang bro, gue beli mic ini serasa diundang podcast Deddy Kobuzier. Sabar. Clipping, bro. Nah, kecilin dikit. Nah, beli mic ini serasa diundang podcast Deddy Kobusier. Perwakilan saya cuma PRX. Kan cuma boleh satu tim. Kan yang qualify cuma satu tim. Emang dari formatnya gitu.
Oh yeah, I think every successful team needs that player, right? They need the dapper, they need someone like that to liven up the energy when things are low. And Starkso is definitely
Terjemahin, Bang.
team. And when you read their interviews,
makanya belajar bahasa Inggris.
Providing the mid game calls. He's not designing the tactics, but he's the voice of direction throughout a round.
I feel like it's the kind of player that we need. I mean, people haven't seen it, but we have seen some of the Korean teams as well, and I feel like
Nightbot
all of
mana?
the players in
Nggak
the
tahu.
Korean team are that player. Supposed to see, like, I would like to
Harusnya
mention
dua,
Kellex,
tapi brand nggak
because
jadi.
it's his first time on,
Ya jadi
Nanya,
formatnya
like,
cuma satu kan. Terus yang satu lagi kan karena kurang satu tim, jadi dia mainnya formatnya diubah, jadi mainnya dua kali kan. Yang grup D gitu kalau nggak salah. Jadi mainnya dua kali karena si brand nggak ikut.
Confident in that interview too. So what do you feel like SMB have to do? Because they've been here before. These two teams, they've played together already.
Yeah, but the problem is it's a seeded match. We saw Sam play in split. It's something that we're probably not going to
Dari
see.
new member. Harusnya gue yang nanya, lu dari new member belum? Tapi nama lu udah hijau, berarti udah. Udah ganti harganya, bisa ganti ke yang goceng kalau mau. Ceweknya cantik. Iyalah bro, ini standar Eropa sama standar kita beda bro. Paling jeleknya Eropa itu paling cantiknya Indonesia.
Decision making process that I don't completely agree with, so that had to change.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the matchup we're going to see today is going to feel a
Ini
lot different than
Mia
that
siapa?
online game. That was a CD match, like you said. But also, I think something that's interesting about SMB is that all these players.
Iya bro, udah gak usah ngomong terus. Mana sini main lah, udah 758 ini.
Russ is always going to be an initiator. Brave is always going to be a controller.
Di gajinya pasti besar, ini ngomongnya lancar. Kalau gajinya kecil ngomongnya gak lancar.
Yeah, we gonna talk about one of Kakuka's favorite players here, Turko. I know you're very happy that he made it here.
Ini orang brewok banget sumpah. Jenggotnya brewok sih sumpah. Ini muka-muka penculik ini.
We have that as well in Sentinels, for example. But I feel like Turco is a little bit like nuts, you know. It's like he's one of the clutchers.
Gak usah ganti udah nyaman yang 10.000. Ya, terserah Anda.
And of course he's playing the stage, but I feel like
Tim high sense, low sense. Nggak tahu. Gue gak pernah ganti setting sensitivity.
100% of his games in the last game. This guy is a Sage main, right? But he is phenomenal at aiming. He is an aimer through and through. When I watch him, I'm blown away at some of the one taps he hits with those dragon vans.
Tapi ya sih orang Turki biasanya jago aim. Di CSGO juga siapa? Santares, Engine, Calik sih dulu di CSGO. Tim Space Soldier siapa aja sih? Orang Turki aimnya gila-gila loh sumpah. Dukung siapa? Nggak tahu, aku belum tahu timnya. Tapi kayak dukung Achen lah, ada si Cenet katanya jago.
I feel like especially at the beginning of every map we're gonna see the teams taking it slow because they know that
Kan harus fasih Inggrisnya. Ya kan emang orang Amerika, kalau orang Amerika nggak fasih Inggris berarti ente bukan orang Amerika. Ya, ini orang Spanyol yang kiri ya? Ya, orang kiri orang Spanyol. Tapi gajinya gede, ngomongnya lancar tuh, ngomong aja terus.
Well, we saw the players arrive earlier, but it's time to get them on the Berlin stage. And of course, show you
Nah, udah
guys
tuh
at
naik
home
panggung
too,
langsung
where our
main nih.
15 teams will be competing over the next 2 weeks. This is where champions will be shaped
Mending
and
dukung 100
history
T.
will be made.
Kan nggak main hari ini. Nggak main hari ini. Wis, animasinya keren bro. Ya mantap Riot, ada bug-bug nggak pernah di fix.
A masterpiece lasts forever.
Iya.
The artist will find death awaiting every turn.
Iya, budgetnya kebanyakan ini dia. Sewa animator.
Outlive me to become eternal. Ars longa, vita brevis.
Wih, kaget gua cuy. Gua kira lagunya koplo. Thank you Albert udah join kembali ke membership. Welcome back Albert SG. Mantap koplonya. Master terakhir tahun ini. Enggak. Habis Master ada apa sih? Ada Champions ya? Champions yang menang Master ini masuk Champions kan?
Art is eternal.
Perfect timing. Iya nggak tahu. Gue kira lagu dari situnya koplo. Dikira lagu situnya koplo, ternyata enggak. Budgetnya kegedean ini bro, sewa animatornya banyak nih. Wis. Konser Dewa 19. Kan asik di Berlin goyang. Gak ngerti lagunya kayaknya, ini apa lagu kendangnya tungtang tung tungtang tung. Apakah stream ini akan di takedown? Tidak lah. Takedown itu hanya hoax. Cewek ngomong tadi kacamata siapa? Kakuka namanya. Makanya kalau nonton itu ada subtitlenya, diperhatiin. Bukan subtitle sih, di bawah itu ada namanya tuh. Itu tadi tim G2 pemainnya gold 2 ya? Makanya namanya G2. Mana bisa menang? Pemain gold lawan Immortal Radiant mana bisa menang? Dari 16 tim jadi 15. Iya bro, satu nggak bisa datang. Ya udah, ini intronya lama banget, udah 3 menit over nih. Katanya jam 8, mana udah jam 8.03 nih. Nice job. Enggak bro, itu pemain G2 gold 2 bro. Udah digantiin boom. Bisa, dulu di CSGO juga pernah ada satu tim gak bisa datang. Timnya Excuret malah, tim Tailu dulu Excuret gak bisa datang, digantiin sama yang gambar macan, siapa sih namanya? Lupa lah. Kasian loh, mereka udah susah-susah qualify gak bisa datang, digantiin. Wis. Ini orang lihat bajunya dimasukin ke celana dong. Orang kedua tuh bajunya masukin ke celana. Oh, udah dikeluarin. Sok-sokan culun. Apa nggak dikasih alter ego di bawahnya brand? Ya kan bukan gitu formatnya. Yang qualify yang menang, kalau nggak menang ya nggak qualify.
Just meters away from us.
I just can't. I mean, I've seen this. We've rehearsed this, but every single time I
ini tim Turki lawan tim Turki ya. Oh. Perang antar saudara. Wih. Kayak tim bola aja nih, peluk-pelukan dulu. Kenapa di sini tidak ada yang pakai masker? Anda kira COVID tidak ada di Berlin, ha? Brand dibeli tim secret. Oh iya. Berarti nanti timnya udah bukan brand lagi, jadi tim secret. Ingat postingan lu, Iron bisa gendong Imo. Itu hoax, itu hoax. Ironnya Iron hoax. Berencanakan strategi. Enggak, ini menyebarkan COVID-19 ini. Nggak pakai masker, deket-deketan, peluk-pelukan, nah ya udah COVID ini. COVID bro. Kok jadi 15 brand? Karena pandemi nggak bisa datang, ya udah. Ya sudah. Mau gimana? Masa dipaksain ke sana ya, lu melanggar pemerintah lu, nggak boleh pulang. Dan udah swab test. Ya kan swab test tidak menjamin, siapa tahu aja udah di swab negatif, pulang-pulang jadi positif kan, siapa tahu. Gak ada yang pakai masker sih sini sih. Gak usah dibubalin satpol. Enggak, ini Interpolnya tidak diterima ini. Dari Indo siapa? Nggak ada sih yang Indo full. Ada juga Indo cuma timnya PRX. Tapi itu campuran Indo, Singapura, Malai. Di Berlin masih sore. Iyalah kan beda zona waktu, zona nyaman. Wih, pakai hologram dong, wih, sok-sokan. Oke, hologram ini budgetnya kegedean ini. Udah lama, belum juga mulai matchnya. Nggak ada fracture karena ini pakai patch lama kayaknya. Oh, berarti di patch ini Brimstone nggak bisa ngancurin ability, ulti Sova nggak bisa ngancurin ability, paling cuma beberapa doang. Pakai patch lama ini. Ini nonton bacot atau Berlin? Dua-duanya. Nomor full match. Amin, semoga tidak di takedown sampai full match. Kalau di takedown, dadah. Dadah. Budgetnya bundle Z. Oh iya, bundle Z buat turnamen ini pantas mahal. Satu bundle 1 juta. 100 orang beli 100 juta. Oh ini yang merah udah di ban ya, Breeze di ban, nggak mau main Breeze. Memang Breeze itu mahar, map haram. Ya apa sih maksud SMB defense? Oh map 1 bind, map 1 bind. Map 2 asen, oh ngebingungin cuy, sumpah ini sok-sokan gaya pakai hologram. Gak apa-apa lah, mereka pilih mapnya masih waras lah. Masa pilih Breeze gimana sih? Butterfly knife gunting diputer. Itu bukan gunting, itu pisau. Mungkin mereka yang edit editorial Marvel. Enggak bro, ini langsung di panggung ya kan? Langsung di panggungnya dimunculin kayak cahaya gitu. Main 3 map. Ya best of 3. Tapi kalau 2 map udah menang ya udah. Map 3 nggak main. Nanti Pepprex main. Enggak hari ini Pepprex, besok. Hari ini kan Acan lawan SMB, terus habis ini tim apa gitu lupa, nanti jam 11 hologram. Iya. Pepprex kalau nggak subuh besok. Enggak subuh 100 trip ya? Iya subuh 100 trip.
But we'll see if we get to the third map.
Yeah, I mean we're not seeing the exact same group of maps as you guys expected.
Nanti pilih Breeze pakai bug. Itu pakai bug didiskualifikasi. Subuh bukannya besok. Ya anggap aja subuh masih bersambung lah. Wih, ditunjukin minimapnya dong.
So Por will set up his Killjoy utility all over this A site, and the reason why this is so weird is because they also have a Sage, right?
Ini beneran seberang-seberangan nggak pakai apa penghalang kaca gitu, jadi kan kalau teriak-teriak kedengeran gitu. Apalagi ini orang Turki dua-duanya sambil saling ngerti gitu. Jadi kalau bacot-bacotan ya tinggal teriakin aja langsung. Tinggal teriak, nggak ada penghalang kaca masih kedengeran.
show, I was like, there's some things that I don't like.
Lag
especially
bang,
when
nggak
we
itu lu
push
aja
the
pakai
button.
IndiHome sih.
We know, and we'll see now if they're gonna
Satu hari
push
satu
out
grup
strike.
main semua.
It is an agent
Ya
that I
tapi
like.
kalau
It's
di
not
waktu
big,
Indonesia
has
kan
control.
satu hari itu
I feel
bersambung
like it
sampai ke
suits the
subuh.
style for SMB, but I just
Jadi
feel
udah
like it's not
besoknya.
enough. They do not gather enough information, and I want to see Cena perform on the stage. I think it has to be a good start for him.
When I watched SMB the Unbind, I loved Braves. He had great star placement right outside.
Master
He controlled
Regi
influence a
Japik
lot,
sama.
and that's what
Nggak tahu,
allowed
nggak
him to
nonton
lock
aku
down
kalau
the
yang
inside
itu.
with the turrets top triple, the turrets for U-Haul, as well as crazy alarm bot placements.
Tuh Regi Japik
allowing
jauh.
reactions from his team.
Enggak bro, ini
So many
paling
little
berapa
tricks
5
up his
meter
sleeve.
lah, teriak
This
masih
is the
kedengeran bro.
problem, right? We saw with some of the EMEA teams.
Kalau kesel teriakin aja seberang.
Astra had a bigger success rate, and the teams that didn't run Astra
Ini
just
beres sampai
struggled. Do you
besok.
feel like
Enggak lah.
this is the
Nggak kuat
difference
aku
maker?
sampai
Do
besok.
SMB have to run the Astra?
Ya minimal match inilah, match ini kita nonton si Cernet main nih.
We're probably not going to see that. I mean, we'll go
Bakso
into it
Intel
just
enak.
in a little
Bakso
while, but,
Intel apa?
I feel
Enggak,
like
beli
Astra
bakso
is
aku.
good when it's accompanied by all their smokers, I
Ya,
would
sabar.
say. Maybe if you make it work, if you really work to make it work, but on paper, it's
Kenapa
gonna look like
kamarku
it
berdebu
suits
sekali?
SMB. I still don't think it was enough.
Dem-
I have to
lihat
say, though,
ini,
that when
nggak
they
bisa
lost
lihat
that
dah lah.
this map against
Kaki
the
gue
Zen,
berdebu
we
banget.
just came back from getting their visas ready. I remember this moment when we were in finals, and they were like, "Oh, we didn't get any sleeves, but we actually needed to get to Berlin, and priorities."
Buat review kapan lagi? Entah.
What about you, Sean? Because
Nanti.
in NA, Astra is still very much a viable pick, but
Jangan
in
lupa
EMEA,
Sprite.
not many
Habis
teams run them.
Sprite-nya habis belum beli lagi. Nantilah.
I think Astra's an insane individual control. Like if you solo picked an Astra, you can use those gravity
Tens
wells to take
kapan?
control of shots.
Antara lusa atau enggak, entahlah.
Instantly take that long beat area. And
Lusa
I think
3 hari
Astra
lagi.
3.0 with those delays to the gravity well, I believe it's 1.4 seconds.
Apa sih kalian cuma mau nontonin Tens sih?
Got that little bit of a nerf, and we've seen
Di
it
sini yang skillnya sama kayak Tens banyak nih. Ada 4 second di sini.
I think, and I am going to bet that
Wih,
there's going to be
34 Ceva Givara, thank you udah join. Itu 34 nomor absen ya, masih sekolah dia. Semangat sekolahnya, semoga ranking 1. Dukung siapa? Acen kayaknya nggak tahu lah. Belum pernah nonton kedua timnya, tapi nggak tahu. Kayaknya Acen seru nih. Pendapat tentang nerf KJ. Tidak kerasa karena aku tidak main Killjoy. Wih, mouse-nya ini bro, mouse-nya ini bro. G-Pro. Logitech sponsor gua please. Makasih. Koplo dulu. Iya, Koplo jadi menang nih. Cepet bro, udah 14 menit ini bro.
For 14 games in a row. So do you feel like they also need to make changes here?
I don't know.
Cepet bro, ini malah bergurau. Wih, tuh dia juga angkat mouse-nya. Yo bro, angkat mouse bro. Sponsor Logitech pasti dia. Ini ada Cernet. Iya, Cernet ada. Kalau masuk e-sport mau apa nggak? Mau sponsor? Kok lama? Ya nggak tahu bro, ini yang ngatur bukan gua bro. Main dong. Ini si botak apa observer? Observernya botak. Itu pakai nota untuk mencatat siapa aja yang udah main. Jadi kayak custom game gua. Keren Gursi Gaming. Secret Lab bos, sponsor bos. Nggak kayak di Indonesia di sponsor Rexus, aduh malu-maluin. PCT Indo di sponsor Rexus, terus pakai kursinya Rexus. Terus datang sponsor Secret Lab, Rexus menghilang, disingkirkan Rexusnya. Observernya Om Deddy. Enggak lah, ini observernya brewok, dia masih brewok. Di sponsor Alienware mau nggak? Tergantung, ente sponsornya dalam bentuk duit atau dalam bentuk dikasih komputer gue. Kalau duit enggak lah, mending komputer aja sini. Fantek bang, Fantek juga malu-maluin. Fantek Rexus sekasta lah, kasta rendah. HP bro, main dong bro, cepet bro, nungguin gue lama. Observer Kratos.
something different.
No, I would want to
Kratos
see that on the
kulitnya
jet.
abu.
Easy, yeah.
I have these memories in my head of him just peeking.
Main bro, buru bro, lama banget bro.
So like layered on their strats, they're trying to do all their little cool setups, and he's just peeking into them, dashing away, picking one.
Ya
playing
elah.
stuff. You know, he's just insane. He's all over the map when he's on jet. Such an impactful player.
Ngeluarin kursi kantor.
No, I do not
Kursi
want to
secret
see
lab.
changes because I feel like maybe he could move to, let's say, a Soba. Okay, that is something that you can play also with this competition.
Sponsor
I
Fotre.
feel like Senet needs
Boleh.
to have the freedom to not
Sombong
use his
amat.
abilities for
Harus
his
dong
purposes.
sombong dong.
So it's
Selagi
not
masih
Soba,
hidup
he's
masih
always
bisa
gonna
sombong.
have
Kalau udah
position
meninggal nggak bisa
for
sombong.
the favor of the team. So I feel like, I mean, he's a jet player. He needs the freedom.
Yeah.
Main dong.
There's no
Ngomong aja
scenario
terus
where we
ini
don't
analisnya
wanna
ini.
see him on a jet, you know, every day of the week. But now we know the map picks. I want to get your
Bang, pilih
prediction
punya
for the
semua
whole
skin value
series,
apa
you
hidup
know. We got
abadi?
Mine, we got Asal, and we've got
Kalau
Ice
hidup
Box.
abadi udah bro,
I'll give you a
kehidupan
minute
itu
to
bukan
think.
cuma
I
di
mean, I
dunia,
backed Ascent
kehidupan
for the whole
sejati ada di
tournament,
akhirat
so it's gonna
nanti.
be
Jadi
silly for me to
lupakanlah
go
hal-hal yang
here, but I
duniawi.
will say I'm at 51% certain
Maksud gua
that it's
Fantek.
gonna be Ascent. Like, for
Oh
me,
iya,
there's
selamat.
literally a 1%
Bang, kalau
separation
disponsori
between
sama
I feel like
iya.
he's gonna go to third map.
Boleh,
No
bro,
matter
boleh,
what, I
boleh.
wanted to go to third map. I feel like in this kind of a matchup, we deserve it.
Di
But
PCT Master
who
nggak ada
do
yang
you
pakai
think? Who are
Fotre.
you backing for this?
Fotre merek lokal, mana bisa sponsor internasional.
And I'm gonna give you a reason, and it's going to be a good one. I feel like Ascent performed better under pressure. I mean, of course, the pressure is here. We're seeing it.
Iya
But I
bro,
feel like
main
if
bro,
they
buru
don't
bro, nggak
stop
usah ngomong
over,
terus
they're
bro.
gonna perform better for the rest of the competition.
I think the cream rises to the top here, and I think Ascend takes this 2-0. I'm not gonna.
Bang, kok lu sesat mulu dari kemarin? Enggak, itu lu aja ajarannya tidak benar.
They knew this Ascent pick was coming. I think of Ascent as the best team in EMEA, and I think they're gonna prove it here today.
Bang,
Yeah,
orang
well, I mean,
mana?
the
Orang
other side is,
Indonesia.
What do SMB need to do in your point of view for it not to be a 2-0? Because obviously
Oof.
that lower bracket is
Ini
scary.
cuma ngobrolin dukung tim mana aja lama banget sih.
I don't see it happening. I think of Ascend as
Main buru itu pemain udah ngumpul di belakang nungguin malah ngerumpi. Keburu kena COVID.
From SMB, I think Ascend will be aware of those possibilities and have made the changes.
I mean, Kukuka, like you said, you're backing SMB here. What do you think are their win
Perek
conditions
kapan
against
main?
Gelud? I think
Besok.
he needs some convincing.
Okay, I'm telling you. First of all, Brave is insane.
Bang, gelasnya banteng merah. Apa banteng merah? PDIP.
We've heard from Tani, who went from
Chat
Team
gua
Merc
gak
to
dibaca.
OG from
Tuh dibaca.
Healthcare now, along with Merc, that he's such a smart
Sponsori
player,
warung
so
top
young.
up.
Like,
Iya
hearing
udah,
Tani comparing
videonya
Brave
di
to
sponsor.
Evolva at such a young age, being like, I came into this team and
400
this guy
sub
is
menuju
insane. So that
setup
is
tour.
obviously a big
Ya sabar lah, gak usah
I feel
diburu-buru
like,
lah.
just pump it up. I just want Power to be the only
Nonton
calm guy
YouTube,
on the
Twitch,
team, and I feel like
YouTube bro.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Kalau
I
Twitch
love
itu
watching
biasanya
SMB.
nge-lag
I
aku,
love watching SMB
buffering.
because the players have so much freedom to make their plays, and they've gone over all these crazy reactions, the
Bentar
utilities
vote
they see
review
across the
Acen.
map. But a
Apa
structured
dayaku
team like
memvote
Ascend
review?
and defeating them coming into
Lawannya
this,
pro player
I
cuy,
think
mereka
helps
mainnya
them in
beda.
this series because it
Kalau
fires
turnamen tuh biasanya mainnya sabar banget beneran. Nggak pernah ngeras rusuhin gitu, sabar banget mainnya. Diam di belakang dulu.
If you're not watching Ascend, you're stealing something from them, or you're trying to steal
Ada
something
yang nyasar.
from them. So
Iya, kita
if
semua
anything,
nyasar.
I feel like, especially on the other side, there's not
Kita
as
semua
much benefit
tersesat
to
di
SMB.
sini.
Just the comparability is quite jarring.
Iya tahu hologramnya keren, main buru bro. Jadi gue nungguin nih sampai kesel nih. Dislike dulu ah videonya ah, sumpah. Bar. Lama banget mainnya. Dislike. Main buru, gue udah dislike videonya nih. Gak jadi, kasihan. Ntar gue di takedown beneran like banget. Ntar gue di takedown videonya cu. Ntar gue di takedown.
If you were, in the shoes of SMB, coming into this tournament, knowing that there's stuff on Ascend.
Ini sama bang, gue iklannya Valorant hack.
What will be your
Hah?
approach?
Jangan ngehack.
With an aggressive team like SMB, I think maybe they did
Atau
look into those
takedown.
things, but I don't think you're gonna
Lama
see
bro, gak
Poor
main-main bro, keburu ke takedown channelku bro.
I think you're gonna see Poor maybe create that individual aggression. I don't think
Nah,
you're
aku
gonna be very
dislike.
happy.
Ya dislike ini aja, jangan dislike
He's
gua.
gonna know things and he's gonna push
Jangan
it
dislike
forward.
gua, dislike ini
He's
aja.
gonna do the same, Turco as well. They're so good in these little individual quirky matchups and
Bang,
playing
gua
off of
dislike
each other.
pertama.
I
Oh
can
iya,
tell their
selamat.
comms are super on point. And if things start going their way in these crazy trade battles, that's
Ini
their
apa
style of
observer
play.
doang kok ditunjukin sih.
Once you get punched in the
Kerjaannya
face,
cuma
how do you
nonton.
respond if you're Ascend?
How would you respond? How would you respond?
I mean, I know the power is going to push.
Sok fokus tuh bro, game aja belum mulai.
Just gonna look down and just wait for it. But I feel like on the other hand, Ascent is it's completely the opposite.
Riot
It's
dia
all about
memantau.
structure. They know
Oh iya,
exactly what to do.
Anda antek-antek Riot, tolong
Great.
saya minta maaf, jangan di takedown channel saya.
But I feel like in those moments when things are not working, it's easier for Ascent to come back into the game than for SMB.
Well, thank you so much, guys.
Bro,
For
ente
your
kalau
insight,
pakai
I'm
bahasa
very
Sanskerta
excited
nggak usah
about
di sini,
what's
bro.
gonna happen next.
Nggak
We
ngerti
are
aku.
heading into the Prime Gaming Agent Select, the first Agent Select of Masters Berlin. Kukuka is expecting
Cepat, bro.
some surprises.
Agent Select,
You know,
bro.
I definitely would like to see some surprises. We know that Zeke plays Yoru not on this map, but he has the capability of
Itu
whipping
coach.
something out as crazy.
Enggak,
as
itu
that.
observer.
And I know, Sean, you've been
I can
grinding
only get
Yoru.
so excited. Please.
Observer kan?
So we're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it.
I mean, we probably
Sanskerta.
won't see
Iya,
it,
itu
but these
Sanskerta.
two
Oh,
teams,
Hindi,
you know, with
Hindi.
the coaching staff behind them as well, they've
Sama
given
aja
us
lah.
some surprises in the
Sanskerta
past.
itu.
Definitely two teams that are willing to push the boundaries.
Stretching lama. Iya, abis ini ntar ada lagi. Match begin in 10 menit lagi. Udahlah. Tinggalin aja, aku mending tidur. Oh, ini Cenet tuh yang gendut tuh. Tuh yang botak belakang observer.
This is the start, guys. This is just the beginning.
I do want to say though, Kukuka, being on the same stage as the
Aku
players,
dislike
like, I
bang,
don't know
chatku
how you
nggak
feel, but
dilihat. Oh ya
I feel
silakan.
really pumped about this, hearing them cheer and
Udah
scream,
belu
and
bundel.
kind of already, hype each other up.
Duitnya bro di mana bro?
Crazier
Lu
because
kira
of
duit
course they
tumbuh
have all the
di
white noise and
pohon?
They're not gonna be able to see to hear the other team, but we're going to be able to hear everything. So things are gonna go crazy here.
Yeah, it's
Gas
speaking of the
deh.
white noise, so we played
Sarah
the show
body
about the white
swimming.
noise, and yeah, you can't
Bro
hear
makanya
anything
diet bro,
outside
itu
the
minum
crowd.
aja Red
But
Bull.
another cool aspect about this stage is there's
Minum
light
aja
on
Red
the
Bull ya
outsides of the
makin
desk.
gembrot.
And something I had a question
Oh enggak
about
dia
is
minum
that
Red Bull biar
when
reaction
you
time-nya
watch
makin
the other team
GG.
see the light hit their face, actually the players cannot see the other players on
Match
the other
mulai
side
penonton
because
dari
of those
surga.
lights in front of their
Enggak udah di
desk.
neraka karena
Yeah,
kesel.
an insane little feature.
Marah-marah masuk neraka.
500 IQ. That's how we do it here.
Okay. I was gonna say that is you almost baited me.
Mulut casternya pengen dilakban. Oh ini selain mereka anus caster juga ya si Sean Garas gini. GG ngomong berjam-jam gak capek. Yang ya pas komunikasi gak kedengeran sama musuh. Kedengeran ya itu makanya gue bego gak pakai penghalang kaca gitu. Penghalang kaca kan jadi kedap suara gitu. Ini teriak-teriak ya udah. Oh enggak ini komentatornya di siapa ini? Botak lagi. Ya banyak orang botak sini. Tom. Oh yang botak Tom. Ini Mitch Man.
Well, it's a big problem for us because our screens are here and we spend half our time going, wow, isn't that really cool? I love all of this stuff. And you just have people in here.
Oh itu hologramnya beneran bro. Di panggungnya bisa dilihat. Gue kira editan.
I guess I can face this way and ignore all of the cool lights and pretty things. We've seen it about 8 times though, Mitch.
Casternya botak. Banyak orang botak sini. Observer botak, caster botak, pemain botak.
Beautiful.
Botak seger. Enggak, botak itu pintar orangnya. Karena kebanyakan mikir rambutnya rontok. Komentatornya Bung Binder. Bung Binder apa?
Oh, yeah, I had the button with me. I just wanted to make sure that we give Mitch and Tom a little bit of screen time before I press the start game button. Sorry, guys.
Iya tuh start game cepat.
I believe Agent Select is ready.
Ngapain ente megang bolpen lah? Ngapain megangin bolpen sih?
Actually, Tom, I think you should stand like that all the time. The back of your head.
Bangnya udah botak. Iya, gue botak nungguin matchnya mulai. Sampai botak tumbuh lagi, matchnya belum mulai.
The most picked agents for the individual players on this map. So there you go.
Sky 100% pick ya. Si Starkso main Sky doang deh. Zack main Raze. Main Viper si Kiles.
I spoke about the Astra pick for Brave. Yeah, it's 100% of the
Gak ada
time.
pemain sofa sini, sumpah.
There you go.
On the game since May, so he could actually afford to be.
Weh Cenet main Sage weh, gak main duelis ya.
This was kind of expected. I really wanted to see it.
Starkso main Sky, ya udah pasti dia 100% main Sky. Oh ada sofa tuh si Rus Z main sofa.
Are they though? Okay.
Viper. Tapi apa sih Bain ya? Bain main Viper. Oh bisa sih. GG main Bain di Viper itu. Oke Brim, Raze terus. Nah ini main Brim sama Viper sumpah mereka kontrolernya dua loh.
God, drop the mic right now. I expect the changes for this. SARA not playing Sentinel
Mereka 2 controller loh. Attacker dulu lagi. Coba kalau defender dulu lebih GG ini, tapi attacker dulu mereka main. Sage duelis. Ya sih kalau pro player udah nggak main duelis ya. Duelis nggak terlalu guna kalau udah main di pro gitu. Nah udah akhirnya mulai guys, nungguin dari tadi. Cenet Sage, iya Cenet Sage. Sekarang gitu VCT Indo main di band suka 2 controller. Kayaknya 2 itu kalau misalkan ke A, terus ke A nya gagal, rotate ke B, pakai controller yang 1 lagi, jadi kan spoknya banyak. Ini ronde 1, oke kita lihat. Wis. GG lah itu setup Viper-nya, memotong side-nya apa ini horizontal gitu. Yang backside gak bisa ngapa-ngapain tembaknya.
They have prepared very well for this matchup and come out with something completely different. Big risk.
They're coming in full
Wih, silau bro. Iya. Langsung di plan bro. Wih, tempat plan apa ini? Oh di bedroom. Oh mereka majuin short tapi plannya plan bedroom. Temboknya menyusahkan bener itu. Bro. Bro ente main di master kok bisa bro, cupu banget bro. Ya sorry toxic. Wih. Wih klik kanan. Vipernya jadiin sentinel bisa. Ya ntar Vipernya buat post plan gitu. Itu tadi apa? Dua-duaan sebelah-sebelahan nembak gak ada yang kena, yang satu lagi kabur. Apa-apaan itu? Jago nembaknya gua. Hah? Enggak, itu mereka mau klik kanan doang pakai klasik sumpah. Iko Gaming maju short semua mereka, mati 1, hampir mati 2, mati 2, mati 3, 1-1 dibantai. Easy round. Easy buat Acen kayaknya ini, mereka ini apa nggak pernah keculik-culik. Ya bener mainnya teriak-teriak loh, kedengeran loh sama musuhnya. Mainnya teriak-teriak kedengeran sama musuhnya. Lo ngapain ketutup? Ya masa gue pindahin ini, gue pindahin mana? Kanan. Dah. Sen kapan? Enggak hari ini. Wis, Vandal naga merah bro. Wis. TP langsung fearless gini. Nyangkut. Resnya kepentok gitu. Resnya kepentok mau entry. Lompatnya ketinggian. Oke udah di plan ini. Itu masih di A lagi 2-an ngapain. Baru rotate sekarang. Karena nutupin kill. Ya gue taruh mana bro? Taruh sini aja lah. Nah udah. Udah guys, taruh sini guys. Mantap tuh. Best position. Gak sengaja tapi kayaknya. Enggak bro, dia emang lompatnya gak pas itu. Iya. Langsung nge-save ya. GWS. Oh iya makasih. Semoga cepat sembuh juga. Cenet ketutupan. Ya apa yang bisa ditutupin apa di sini ha? Mending ilangin aja. Enggak bro, ini menunjukkan bro udah berapa donatnya bro. Oh diginiin aja nih, dikecilin nih. Terus taruh sini. Ah udah. Kelihatan gak sih? Udah lah ya. Hilangin aja. Enggak, ini biar kelihatan yang udah donat berapa. Scam di atas break. Enggak, udah sini aja lah. Tengah kanan. Hah? Kalau tengah nggak di kanan. Ini budgetnya kegedean sumpah. Cuma mau nunjukin lampu doang di sini. Pakai technical pause dulu cuy. Udah mulainya lama, baru 2 ronde di pause. Enggak nge-cash, enggak digaji. Taruh tengah aja. Tengah itu ngalangin crosshair bro. Take pause gear. Oh habis baterai, mau saya habis baterai. Di map cuma dikecilin. Enggak ada sini aja, ini nggak ngalangin apa-apa ini. Coba jadi caster, nggak mau nggak dibayar. Cepet bro, ini mouse-nya habis baterai masa dicas dulu. Taruh kanan bawah. Kanan bawah ngalangin apa? Coba. Gedein dikit. Kanan bawah. Itu ngalangin apa? Tahu lah. Baterainya ABC. Enggak bro, baterainya nggak pakai baterai itu. Kalau GPro ngecasnya pakai USB kayak HP gitu. Oh, gambarnya baik, iya. Postingan komunitas anjing sama kucing lu. Enggak. Kanan atas saja. Ngalangin kill feed, nah. Gak bisa taruh mana-mana bro, ini emang dari sononya overlay-nya nggak bisa dihalangin apa-apa. Moto ini apa facecam gue di bawah nih. Ya sini, ini sini. Ya udah tuh. Ya, puas. Halangin ammo status player. Enggak, udahlah ngapain liatin ammo. 1 peluru aja cukup buat ngekill. Gue lihat dia aja yang main sampai nungguin sampai depresi bro. Yang mainnya sampai depresi. Itu apa lagi tuh silika ini silika gel yang buat packaging. Ngapain diremas-remas? Mah paling enak Asen, iya. Asen mah paling waras. Nonton live di mana? Di sini bro.
Dedicated to my craft. That's impressive. Yeah, they just looked at me and said, "Nah, don't bother. It's beyond salvage at this point."
Cepetan nih technical pause lama kali. Bener ini dislike sumpah turnamen butut. Bar. Dislike ngelamain bro. Ntar kalau ada momen-momen amazing baru gua like. Ini gua sekarang dislike dulu nih. Tidak bermutu ini streamnya ini. Di pause aja terus. Keren tempatnya. Iyalah budgetnya gede nih bro. Feedback kayak. Enggak bro, itu silika gel bro. Gue juga ada tuh. Oh iya nih bro, yang kayak beginian bro. Silika gel bro. Pengawet nih di remas-remas buat apa? Ambil mouse kali. Lagi ngecas mos, tungguin dulu. Ngecas mos biasa sejam.
Yeah, and the thing is, obviously we're talking about the top.
Gabut pemainnya. Iya, sampai silikajel aja diremes-remes.
Particularly good. Like they've been playing against Gambit, who are a phenomenal team. Took them to overtime, solid result. But at the same time, you're now looking at a different beast completely.
Iya bro, main bro. Lu lihat di game aja dia muter-muter di atas base side tuh.
Like I would say the amount of teams that are good on that map from that region, and the only ones who
lama
have
bro,
managed to beat
main
them
bro.
on that map are Turkish teams as well. Like let's put it this way, Gambit, very good ascent team. We almost mentioned that just a moment ago. We did. They
BRT nunggu saja. BRT apa?
Gambit the last time they played that map.
Mainin ballpen lagi, nggak punya ballpen aku. Mereka kenapa? Mosnya habis baterai. Nah, main deh. Lama banget bro. Wih, Heri Kurniawan, thank you udah join. Thank you bro udah join bro. Semoga mendapatkan hidayah. Nah, nih bumbot keluar. Ya Huka tigaan beneran. Huka tigaan gak satu mati di trade, dua mati masih di trade juga. Iya berjajar. Tapi strategi berjajar gitu mantep loh. Yang depan mati pelurunya nggak nembus ke belakang, yang belakangnya bunuh. Strategi berjajar itu. Wih, Tenet membunuh. Terus smoke lah itu. Terus smoke through walls, GG. Wih. Easy bro, A-nya bro. Yang jaganya tidak keras. Langsung retake. Ini kenapa yang nembak gak ada yang kena ya? Wih, dapat satu si Tenet. Langsung bro, flank bro. Iya. Aku sakit bang, oh iya cepet sembuh. Kena sate, sate apa? Santet. Sage petarung. Sage 8 kill bro. 3 ronde 8 kill. True wall, true smoke bener. True wall, true smoke tembakannya itu. GGU gak ini orang pakai line up dong wallbangnya. Tenet nge-cheat tuh sumpah cu. Nggak ada step, nggak ada apa, tembak aja mati lagi. Oh ini dia ambil orb dong, kosong bro, ambil orb bro. Bro orbnya diambil bro. Aduh silau. Master pasti rawan overtime. Enggak lah. Ini Acan nih easy nih udah 4-0 nih. Gak ngecok aja mainnya nih, main santuy. Tunggu-tunggu. Ntar maju barengan easy. Enak sate apa bakso? Sate lah. Bakso mah aci isinya. Ya udah ketahuan ada Cyper nih. Enak kali plan deh. Enak kali plan deh. Gak ada yang menghalau. Lihat deh mereka tuh defendernya pasif banget bener. Jadi plan yang gak dihalau gitu gak bisa dibatalin ya gimana lagi. Tapi retake-nya jadi susah sih, retake-nya posisi musuh udah jadi enak. Tuh. Ya ini SMB terlalu pasif Anda mainnya. Susah retake nanti. Tapi nggak tahu, gue bukan siapa-siapa jadi nggak jadilah. Gue cuma share opinion doang, nggak tahu bener atau enggak. Rakit PC bang, nggak ada duit. Operatornya dibuang, nggak apa-apa sih. Kalau emang gak mau main operator ya udah nggak apa-apa. Wih, Zap, thank you udah join. Mantep loh ini. Si Zap dapat yang langka, dapat sabi lulungan hard bass dia. Mantep Zap. Semoga semakin kuat gotong royongnya. Kalau sabi lulungan kaget tuh depannya dududududud. Gue kira suara apa. Bayar member nggak bisa pakai OVO, GoPay. Iya harusnya GoPay doang, nggak tahu sih. Dari YouTube-nya bukan gue yang ngatur. Ya ada doge lihat dua itu. Wih. Easy lompat-lompat bro.
Looking to support his teammates on long, they may well have stopped Ascend from going for any sort of B aggression at this point. And there's a rifle there.
Agen yang paling laris VCT. Yang pasti Sky ya. Sekarang Sky gila, Sky udah GG banget sih. Pokoknya Sky laku aja sekarang. Flashnya GG. Iya, hilang pisaunya. Iya bertemu-temu bertatapan. Mana ini Acen kok ente malah ngecok? Kok malah ngecok si Acen ini? GG banget kaburnya. Kaburnya GG sekali. Ada ciuman bertatap-tatapan itu terus nyanyi. Mengapa kita ditakdirkan berjumpa? Iya, aduh gak kena. Terthrifty bung. Sebuah blunder. Dia laku nggak? Ada tim yang emang dia nggak mau main duelis. Jet itu cuma impactnya kalau mainnya ini aja, main agresif. Itu orang, lihat nih guys, lihat gue mundurin dikit. Lihat dia mainnya gimana, lihat muka dia. Nih sabar gue post. Lihat guys, ini bungkuk banget bro, sumpah bro. Sehat nggak sehat sih bro, bungkuk banget bro. Nunduk main. That's one of the things you definitely won't see in your ranked, right? You try to take the fight to 50-50. Here comes a poison or blocking out towards Lambs. Line up-nya ditunjukin deh.
Pressure towards Supermassive Blaze's A defense. And you can see the utility that's being put out on the other side.
Mundur langsung mereka. Utility-nya habis, mundur langsung. Pecat telur. Iya. Gak mungkin 13-0 gak sih pemain-pemain sini? Enak banget udah di Fountain aja ini orang. Woi. Mantep nih si Acen tuh kalau majunya timingnya pas banget gitu. Defendernya selalu keculik. Ya, tinggal si Turko nih udah gak bisa apa-apa sih dia. Ya line up gaming. Iya line up gaming terbunuh. Nggak jadi 2v2. Muka-muka para pemain seperti nolep gerangan. Ya anda ngaca. Ya udah saving aja sih udah susah. Dapat satu udah lumayan ngancurin ekonomi ini. Kenapa mainnya lebih baik dari kayak pro player? Karena kesehatan punggung. Ya enggak, kalau lu duduknya bener ya udah. Kalau duduknya kayak dia kan masa depan suram itu. Oh si Cenet naik ke atas, pantas dia nge-kill terus. Dia kalau tiap kali lawan musuhnya si Cenet gak pernah terprediksi gitu, mau lewat atas, mau lewat bawah, musuhnya gak pernah tahu, jadi musuhnya mati terus. Trifnya suatu kondisi di mana grup memenangkan ronde Eco. Iya bro. Kok malah nembak kaki?
good
Oh, dia mau
damage,
ngancurin
though, but
bumbot,
Supermassive
nembak
Blaze
kaki
now
tapi.
have to make it work in a 4v4. Their star player of Izzy, their big fragger, no longer with them.
Yeah,
Apakah Vandal pantas di nerf? Enggak. Udah bagus, udah pas.
In the last ascent, basically committed a lot of their valuable ultimates.
Tapi ini orang-orang pakai Vandal semua loh. Enggak sih, itu si Brave pakai Phantom. Nah, sama si Starkso ya Phantom. Tapi kebanyakan Vandal sih sekarang. Kalau zaman dulu Phantom dipakai terus. Kalau sekarang Vandal udah mulai lah. Ya, ini B-nya easy nih, ada smoke 3. Oh, ini ditunjukin keybind-nya pemainnya ya, tiap pemain. Oh, berarti dia nge-smoke pakai titik loh sumpah. Nge-smoke pakai titik, nge-volley pakai D, nge-smoke pakai J. Bro, keybind macam apa itu bro? Atau ini keybind observernya? Observernya ngaco berarti. Bakal live tiap hari master? Enggak lah, ntar kemungkinan takedownnya makin gede. Kita lihat saja nanti. Skin paling laris. Tahu antara Prime, Oni, Ion, River. Apakah Phantom di nerf? Phantom jelek, kena pala 140, nangis. Wih, melayang dia jadi hantu. Melayang jadi hantu. Keyboardnya miring. Enggak, itu emang mejanya sempit. Jadi kalau dimiringin tuh ngasih lebih lebar ke sebelah lu gitu. Ngasih teammate lu lebih banyak tempat. Ya tapi enggak sih, mereka jauh-jauhan. Gak tau, emang kebiasaan kali. Kalau pengalaman gua ya, dulu gue pernah turni di warnet, bawa keyboard sendiri, dimiringin emang karena meja warnet sempit, jadi buat sebelah gue biar lebih gede ruangannya gue miringin, jadi membantu teammate gue. Ya tapi tetap aja kalah turninya, gue cupu. Minta izin sama Riot aja, nggak akan dibaca bro, gue bukan siapa-siapa. Yang dikasih izin siapa ya? On screen, terus Shroud. Siapa lagi nggak tahu lah. Bukan streamer gede doang, gue bukan siapa-siapa. Ini flanknya nggak bisa apa-apa bro, di smokin terus. Kasihan dia. Mau ngeflank tapi di smokin. Ini observernya ngelindur, itu Jet udah jelas-jelas ngeliatin, malah spectate yang lain. Observernya ngelindur bro. Wih, kepala nyasar. Kepala nyasar lagi. Iya, mundur. Katanya Prodi dapat. Jadi izinnya kemana, gue juga mau dong. Gue mah nunggu ditetengin orangnya aja lah, ditetengin orangnya. Tolong Anda streamnya udahan, tidak dapat izin Anda baru gue udahan. Kalau sekarang tanpa izin masih gue fine aja, bodoh amat. Bodoh amat. Streamer nekat. Whatever bro. Yang penting ada konten bro. Itu tarik Astra. Iya. Iya, ada orang lompat. Dogi lompat itu. Tapi bener kan nih kalau mereka main turnamen gitu, beneran sabar banget mereka mainnya, tungguin belakang. Kalau ada saat yang pas baru mereka maju. Nggak pernah dirusuhin gitu, nggak pernah. Selalu tiap awal ronde tunggu misal 30 detikan lah nyari info doang.
rounds, I think we've seen the vulnerabilities when it comes to A. A lot of the closer rounds have ended up on this B site. Izzy not going to be able to connect. I would have expected him to hit that. There's been a few of those this game where it's like, I expected him to get those kills.
Yeah, good position to counter the A execute we'd seen before, and the wall was down.
Cernet beneran tuh Sage duelis cu.
Fire is down on the site. The wall bang is good. Pora fighting from inside his Viper's pit. He wants to stop them from getting onto the site. He's good for two, but it's all
Iya, Cernet nyasar.
shutdown of CNED makes this a little bit more doable though, with Zeke and Killes trying to get it done.
Ini tapi si SMP kasihan banget bro, udah rotate tapi gak pernah ketemu musuh. Rotate-nya ini apa, nggak pas si SMP. Bang, aku udah submit vote review, moga dijadiin konten. Ya bro, ente kalau yang nge-submit bukan lo doang, banyak, jadi tolong dikondisikan. Ya belum tentu di review, sabar aja lah. Iya, berhasil kabur.
That's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen anyone do. It's like, oh, you want to hit me with the I'll just jump up and down, so there's nothing for you to see.
Itu gara-gara ulti Viper jadi lama retake-nya.
Zeke has been at the heart of pretty much all of them. The man is on fire today. He's one of those players that we saw come in, for people who don't know, as a swap.
Lihat ulti Viper-nya nyusahin banget sumpah. Oh, mereka kalau multi Viper di entrance-nya bukan di side-nya. Jadi kalau di side-nya masih clear, masih bisa dilihat musuhnya gitu. Oh bener ya, kalau main Viper ngulti jangan di side-nya, di entrance pintunya. Jadi kalau ada orang masuk set kelihatan, kalau di side-nya langsung kan kalian nggak bisa lihat juga. Prediksi menang siapa? Acen lah, Acen GG, udah 8-2 nih. Tapi nothing impossible lah, kemarin juga gue comeback di bind. Pakai tim GG Gonek masih bisa comeback. Wih, itu di base semua cu, hanya clear. GG rotate cepat sekali Anda. Belum tentu ke B, udah ke B aja. Bang, gue masih SMP. Oh iya, semoga cepat lulus. Kenapa ente rotate semua SMB ha? Belum tentu di B, udah ke B ya, jadi A-nya bolong. Iya, mati lagi. Lihat Aceh mainnya GG cu, gak dikasih kesempatan sama sekali. Gak dikasih kesempatan cu. GG, Cernet 16 kill. Ini orang main 4-3 dong, jadi gepeng mainnya. Mainnya gepeng 4-3. Kalau ada analisis, enggak, gua nonton doang. Nah ini agresif langsung nih. Iya, gagal naik. Suaranya ngebug ya? Oh enggak, udah balik. Iya, perang sih deh. Aduh, rip M Turko. B-nya dapet. Andai Turko nggak nge-wave di situ. Kalau rotate gak apa-apa, penting 1-2 nge-hold. Salam. Enggak bro, mereka nggak ada anchor. Jadi rotate ya rotate semua, nggak ditinggalin satu. Kalau musuhnya udah balik ya nggak tahu. Wih, Viper Gaming, iya mati. 1v1 bro.
It needs to be Russ. Normally so good in these
Iya.
clutches, but not this time. It's Zeke with another Red Bull clutch, but who's
Ya
surprised?
tapi itu Sofanya tadi kan nge-recon. Kenapa maju? Tunggu recon yang nge-detect dulu lah. Tunggu recon yang nge-detect baru ente maju. Tapi ente malah maju sebelum recon yang nge-detect ya mati. Banyak yang masih SMP. Ya kan wajar lah, wajar banyak bocil. SMP masih bocil nggak sih? Masih lah ya.
Yeah, luckily for us though, Mitch, I've heard that
Kenapa rank Iron bisa ketemu rank Diamond? Mana aku tahu. Gamenya butut. Butut game. 10-2 nih bos. Hah? Mana? Oh udah halftime. Katanya SMP tim masuk kena hoki. Ya hoki ya, qualifiernya gampang aja kali. Oh ini analisnya nih bro.
Because they have 3 different Viper walls. You can see I labeled this Ascend's Viper walls. 3 different Viper walls. The first one is actually uncommon. It goes right across the site. That allows
2 menit doang bro, ente ngomongnya bro.
And through out of bathroom as well. And that forces players to actually try to play in front down the line. But the other ones,
Wih, Ginra, thank you udah join.
We got the one that goes across lamps and then the other one that they use like that. So let's go ahead and roll the clip and talk about.
Semoga mendapat hidayah Ginra. Oh iya. Ya bro, mantap bro streamnya bro. Nah udah. Udah gue like. Udah. Dia ini wallnya emang GG ini. Ngeplannya beneran di belakang wall Viper ya. Jadi nggak ketahuan. Terus kalau retake pakai wall itu lagi sama. Jadi retake-nya kehalau gitu. Wallnya multifungsi. Buat masuk, buat ngeplan sama buat jaga retake. Ya ini nih ripem nih. Dari tadi tuh itu orang ripem tuh. Si Turko tuh. Iya. Klik kanan gaming. Prediksi agen baru role-nya apa? Butuh sentinel sih ini game sumpah. Sentinelnya cuma 3. Kurang banyak. Gue masih Iron makanya join Iron. Enggak lah bro, semua pemain Iron pada suatu saat akan keluar dari Iron, tapi entah kapan. Sabar aja, pada suatu saat juga akan keluar. SMP terbilang agak dewasa. Enggak lah bro, SMP masih bocil bro. Analisnya gajinya gede nih, ngomongnya lancar. Kalau gajinya kecil, ngomongnya nggak lancar. Temboknya GG, nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain langsung mereka. Gitu banget Anda berpihak sama Achen. Bukannya kalau komentator harus netral ya, nggak boleh berpihak ke siapa-siapa, tapi ini orang berpihak ke Achen cuy. Ayo Cenet, tunjukkan kejagoanmu. Lagi Cyper KJ Jet di Iron jadi Sentinel. Gimana caranya nggak punya trap bro? Pokoknya Sentinel itu yang bisa taruh trap atau bisa mengalter mapnya. Contohnya kan Saga bisa naruh tembok jadi ada tembok tiba-tiba gitu. Kayak main Fortnite aja main Saga itu. Achen main bagus banget. Namanya Achen, kalau Achen tuh map. Ini nama timnya Achen. Gak pakai S. Pinter bahasa Inggris. Kan emang orang sono bro, kalau nggak bisa bahasa Inggris ngomong bahasa apa dia? Gue ngambil orb nih kayaknya nih. Strategi ngambil orb. Iya bener. Mereka mainnya ulti jet aja nih, udah last hope ya. Udah nothing tulus. Kalah pistol udah GG sih. Gak ada orang situ. Wih, silau bos. Viper duelis sumpah. Yang entry-nya Viper bunuh 3. Masih lanjut ini match-nya bro. Mereka menang pistol nih. Aduh Turko. Apa kun pas bikin langsung bros nggak ke iron? Ya nggak tahu. Plusnya GG sih itu, kena semua loh. Jadi takut semua defendernya. Di turnamen makin OP. Enggak, semua agen tuh OP asalkan yang mainnya jago gitu aja. Semua agen bisa jadi OP. Maaf defense attack. Maaf lebih ke defense sih. Soalnya ini nggak ada midnya, jadi kalau rotate-nya ya defense-nya lebih cepet. Wih, agresif gaming. Iya di trade. Dan mereka main trade-nya 3-an loh. 3 lawan 3 jadinya main trade-nya.
Too much cost when it comes to their bonus round, especially when you consider that there really isn't much invested into this at all. Still fairly tentative from Supermassive Blaze. They've won the early duels. They don't really need to take too many risks. And
ya udah Iko nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain sih, mereka exit frag aja. Paling nggak dapat kill 1 aja, ngancurin ekonomi nggak apa-apa. Iya nggak dapat. Oh Cenet nih, Cenet bisa nge-clutch nih, mungkin aja. Ada kemungkinan, tapi kayaknya enggak keren. Iya. Terkejar bung. SMB tim mana? Turki. Dua-duanya tim Turki nih. Jadi kalau main bisa track-track saling ngerti mereka. Lihat si Kiles 3, 11, 7 bro. Cuma main smoke doang dia, main smoke main di belakang. Apa taker apa? Breeze. Breeze GG attack gampang banget. Pakai SMB comeback. Ya mana aku tahu ini 10-4 nih. Nothing impossible sini. Wih, Cenet bro. Sage early pick apa-apaan. Iya. Tapi si Cenet nih ngebunuh terus tuh sumpah. Tiap kali ketemu musuh si Cenet yang bunuh. Ini lihat si Cenet bunuh enggak. Malah dimajuin bro. Oh si Kiles. Ini si Kiles terada membingungkan mainnya. Dia main maju-maju aja. Iya silau. Itu di Yohal maju mundur sampai bosen. Iya keculik. Masuk teleportnya 2 angkot yang muncul di satu lagi cuma sendiri. Dikasih pis. Dikasih burung. Dikasih pistol, dikasih vandal. Dikasih vandal bro. 2 biji. Itu punya teman dia loh. Itu punya teman dia dikasihin. Dari mayatnya diambilin terus dikasihin lagi ke dia. Ambil bro. Nah.
never seen someone ego so much. Hey, buddy, you want to save? Don't save a Spectre. Take our Vandal. It's
Nggak
11-4. We
diambil.
don't give a damn. That's a send for you. They're already bringing their personality.
Di giveaway ya. Kebanyakan vandalnya kasihin aja. Baik hati nih.
Oh my.
Mitch's dream just
Bagi-bagi ke musuh.
Please give me
Are there
one.
any Riot gun buddies on them?
I don't know. I do know a man to ask though.
Harga diri. Enggak, itu bukan harga diri.
Bounce right back, but Supermassive
Itu kebajikan lah, mereka giveaway.
One player can't buy, but it's Izzy. And of course,
Yeah.
you already
Wih, tembok
heard
gaming.
people in his way. He called
Iya,
it a
mundur
random
langsung.
start. Blade Storm's online.
Already though, an early lockdown of the hookah position leaves this as a bit of an awkward attack spot. And they've taken
Udah mereka ngandelin ulti jet doang, udah nggak bisa apa-apa. Kalah ini match point miskin lagi.
Just waiting patiently, still having the screen as an opportunity to back off. And CNED, well, he's going hunting. He's
Wih,
facing into Brave.
Cenet mati bro, ada kesempatan bro.
With the Phantom on their side, but he gets the close range.
Letak ada Cenet di sini.
You can see he was expecting them to be slightly further down, aiming
Wih,
at the torso as they came
ada
around.
jet berenang.
It's gonna be a bit of an awkward position for Starzo. The
Itu
flash
duaan
flash
kepalanya nyala duaan bro.
but they're on a full buy here. Supermassive Blaze just completely running over them and finding that B site with ease. 2 players left, Zeke and Killez, and they will be looking to save, maybe find some exits along the way.
Yeah, I'm still looking at the
Iya, tinggal
they are being healed up, but there was about
santuy aja ini mainnya. Bisa comeback nih guys, bisa comeback.
HP. So it was a little bit
Giveaway
closer,
turnamen lan. Iya yang di giveaway tapi senjata temen dia yang udah meninggal.
opponents expect
Dari mayatnya diambil dibalikin ke
I
dia.
don't think the credits are going to be in the greatest of spots for Ascend in the next
Perek
round.
besok lusa.
They are gonna win
Besok
to
Perek.
try and save some of that extra weaponry. One of them being a judge though.
Dukung
so
siapa? Dari awal Acen bro.
I guess if he's gonna
Dari
play
awal.
the next round, it's not too much of a problem.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Zeke is going to be more than comfortable working with that. He might even try to make a quick play.
Ya ini lagi ngepur aja nih Acen nih. Ntar menanginnya easy lah. Ngepur aja ngepur.
There you go. He's going to be. Oh no, they don't even. Yeah, he knew it was too far away. It's all good. 11-5.
Lihat Cenet 20 kill loh. Kills cuma 4. Turko 7. Kenapa si Brave di atas Turko? Si Brave kill cuma 5. Oh, combat score kali ya. Di ininya combat score.
From Supermassive Blaze, so they're going to be in a very good spot financially for this one. They can get those few extra upgrades they need. Of course, Izzy not actually having a gun in the last spot, but
Perek jam 8 besok. Iya. Nggak main hari ini berarti. Ini masih grup A. Wih, sebuah tembok bro. GG amat lu ngambil orbnya. GG amat ngambil orbnya. Ditembak ambil orb, teman mati revive. Gue masih bunuh lagi. Ini Cenet nge-cheat tuh sumpah cu. Cenet nge-cheat deh. CSGO Valorant lah. CSGO gue main gak dapet duit, Valorant gue main dapet duit. Nyari apa bro? Iya mati, lu pakai trik Viper itu. Ya malah mati dia. Itu padahal trik Viper loh, kalau kalian di dalam smoke Viper, kalian bisa lihat keluarnya lebih cepat daripada yang di luar bisa lihat kalian ke dalam. Sampai kapan? Sampai masih lama. Sampai 19 September kan? Masih lama. 2 lawan 4 bro, aduh di granat lagi.
Nobody in the area other than Zeke, who's a little bit further behind. It's still going to be a real issue for them. The rotation
sulit bro.
I think the teleporter actually ended up as a bit more of a burden than anything else, but they might not expect
Iya.
players, and I don't think it's going to matter.
Sudah sulit bro.
Using the shotgun to his advantage, and Ascend are 1 round away from taking their map.
Ascend reaching 12. I mean, this. I can't say it's a surprising scenario. It really isn't.
Lihat dia ngambil orbnya santuy parah. Terus revive aja langsung. Oh dia lihat tracer musuh. Itu musuh kan nembak pelurunya kelihatan tuh ya, dia tracking balik di triangulasi terus dia tembakin balik dapet. Sampai di takedown. Gila. Tanpa izin nih bos. Aduh silau. Berani banget mainnya, dia nggak takut di flash, nggak takut di apa-apa si Bangkok nih. Iya. Masih dapat lagi. Mainnya berani banget, sumpah nggak pernah mundur. Masih ngekill lagi. Ulti langsung dapat 3 itu. GG Gaming. GG Gaming. Easy Achen bro.
Nothing you can do about that one. Russ wants to be sure he can reload, pops the recon into the smoke, but here's the flash, no peek after. Starzo's gonna wait and walk on through the smoke. Get himself around the edge. Oh,
masih dapat dong.
But it didn't matter. 13 to 5.
Kurang rapi SMB. Enggak, bukan kurang rapi. Teroutplayed. Teroutplayed, mereka rotate nggak pas terus. GG bro, easy for Achen.
They knew this matchup was coming for quite a while. They tried to fix their bind against an incredibly strong bind team.
Rambutnya rambut depan doang, dia poninya doang ya tumbuhin, belakang nggak ada, botak.
What was that move from Bone Cold? I gotta learn that one. He was definitely having a good time though coming in towards the end of this map, and I have to say Ascend, they show up the way that we hoped they would, the way that we expected them to. Now the question is,
dia nembak lihat orang aja enggak loh.
Can they do the same?
Lu lihat tiga-tiganya dia nggak lihat.
But when it came to aim, when it came to these duels, they had absolutely no problem. They breezed through.
Yeah, no, this was an incredible performance from basically, well, at least in my eyes, the two players.
Tolong yang nanya PRX kapan? Cari di Google sendiri, pemalas banget. Sudah disediakan jadwal masih nanya. Orang sana udah berani sama corona. Iya bro, nggak ada yang pakai masker bro. Nggak ada yang pakai masker. Going to peek into these angles, and I think that's something we actually need to see from them going into Ascent, because that's exactly what we're going to see from Supermassive. Williamson kelewat batas. Enggak, itu dia main pure informasi dari teammate-nya. Teammate-nya bilang, "Woi, di long." Ya udah dia tembakin aja longnya, dapet. Teammate-nya ngomong informasinya pas banget gitu. Presisi informasinya.
Does not feel nice to lose in this fashion, but the reality is they know when it comes to bind, Ascend are one of the best, and Supermassive Blaze don't quite match up. They saw it last time in EMEA Challengers.
GG easy bro.
Here now, and the question is, moving into the next map, do we think that that's going to be a problem for them? No, most likely not. This is their comfort pick up next, and we've seen them bounce back last time where they got slapped and then Split was a completely different story.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised.
Kenapa ini nge-lag streamnya?
Do exactly the same thing on the next one. Honestly, I think they're an incredible Ascent team. I think the bind.
Oh, Ascent. Ya udah, namanya juga Ascent, yang menang Achen lah.
That's the way the series is going to go. I think it's going to be a 2-1. Which direction it's going to go in? That's up to the desk, you know. That's not my job. Like, I don't have to give you predictions. Exactly. So realistically, I'll just wait and enjoy that third map.
Idola lu siapa? Iwan Fals.
Exactly. Up next is going to be Ascend. We're expecting it to be a bounce back from Supermassive Blaze as we've seen.
Oh, bounce back, katanya SMB main Ascent bagus, kita lihat. Elah, iklan bro. Ada iklannya bro. Iklan apa ini? Valorant eSport. Di Valorant ngiklanin Valorant. Fracture VCT. Enggak lah, ini patch lama ini. Oh, Secret Lab. Enggak bro, nggak usah ditonton bro. Iklan butut ini bro. Kursi butut bro, mahal doang. Mahal doang, bagus enggak? Kursi jok sepeda aja lebih nyaman bro. Pakai jok sepeda aja. Jangan dibeli guys. Mahal, tidak nyaman. Ya, oh, Prime Gaming masih boleh lah. Dapat stiker Valorant gratis. Ya bukan stiker, spray sama player card. Boleh lah, Prime Gaming mantep. Ini apa? Oh, HyperX. Produk HyperX gua apa ya? Oh, mousepad doang. Ini mouse HyperX tapi gue belum pernah nyoba, katanya bagus. Ada yang pakai mouse HyperX, guys, bagus nih. Sponsor orang dikatain. Ya siapa suruh ente nunjukin sponsor di stream orang lain ya, tapi gue streamnya tanpa izin sih. Lagu copyright ini, lagu copyright, Udah kita putar lagu sendiri aja lah, guys, sabar. Sabar sambil nunggu lah, kita ini dulu, kita putar lagu sendiri. Bro, kenapa overlaynya nggak ganti, bro? Nah udah. Sabar. Kita putar lagu dulu sambil nunggu. Mending kursi plastik, iya mending kursi baso. Kursi baso lebih nyaman daripada kursi laboratorium rahasia. Guys, gue puterin lagu, guys. Mana ini? Nah. Nobar harus izin. Iyalah. Ini gue tanpa izin. Podcast. Ya nih podcast sudah, kalian dengerin lagu aja.
Hal yang menyenangkan hati banyak sekali, bahkan kalau kita bermimpi sekarang ganti baju agar menarik.
Masih menunggu semenit lagi.
Kita mencari teman. Jalan panjang menuju langit biru. Tiba-tiba
Dalam membuat mousepad smooth, beli mousepad yang smooth.
yang menemukan harta karun di dalam sana.
Kursi mobil tambah seatbelt. Iya bro, kalau lagi main biar nggak emosi pakai seatbelt bro, nggak bisa gerak bro.
Wangi angin
30 detik lagi.
di sore hari, sampaikan
Daripada lagu copyright, mending kita tutup dulu streamnya.
hal yang menyenangkan hati banyak sekali, bahkan kalau kita bermimpi sekarang ganti baju agar menarik hati. Ayo kita mencari teman.
Ya gue masih ujian. Ya cepet beres dong ujiannya tuh. Dangdutan. Game apa? Ini game loading. Karena ini cuma gambar. Ini bukan game. Oh guys, lihat guys. Cocok lagunya sama ini guys. Lagunya cocok guys. Ya, daripada denger analis sampah ini, mending kita denger lagu koplo. Pakai seatbelt sana berhasil nyangkut. Enggak bro, kalau lagi emosi mau banting meja nggak bisa bro, ketahan seatbelt. Oh ini yang nyanyi cewek ini. Ya udahlah, udah kita denger analis aja kali. Ada yang menarik.
5 rounds are so important, and they all 5 went to ascend. I mean, it was actually something that we could expect, that they were going to get this map.
Yeah,
I feel like they were too
betul.
comfortable, especially seated and seek, just holding hands, running through sides.
Yeah, it's such a kick to the
Setuju.
gut too when you make a massive comp
Gue
change like that,
ikut-ikutan
right?
nih.
They got 13-6 online on bind, so it's not like, you know, they're
Kalian
old
streamnya
on with
Valorant
something to
hack.
write home about.
Itu
No, their
pertanda,
bind
berarti lu
always had holes in
cupu.
it, so they had to try a new
Jadi harus
conquer,
pakai
and it
cheat
just
buat
didn't
main,
work out.
aduh.
And losing that
Jangan
opening
nge-cheat
bonus,
makannya.
things snowball really quick at that point.
It's not only that, it's that you lose the bonus, and then when you get around, it's actually an eco, and it's well played, but I feel
Wih,
like they
cenet.
were playing
22 kill, 2,5 KDA. Main sendiri bro. Main sendiri.
just didn't know what to do with it, and I feel like Ascend knew how to play
Namanya
against that
easy,
comp,
tapi kok
but SME
kalah.
did not feel comfortable playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different comp, but almost the same
Lah
result.
gua aja
the
nggak ngerti
last
mereka
time these two
omongin.
teams have
Gak
played
apa-apa bro,
against each
pura-pura
other. It
ngerti
wasn't
aja
quite
biar
the
keren.
jet for CNED, Sean, but were you impressed with his performance?
Dear God, was I impressed? Yes.
Combat
He
score
tore it
Saget
up to
lebih
start
gede
this
daripada
game. I
combat
loved
score
the opening
Race,
shower
gak ngerti
take on
lagi
pistol,
gua.
the one that Bala broke down for us on the
Combat
telestrator.
score
That was
Sage
sick.
lebih gede
And
daripada
then
combat
his
score Race.
shower control round with Bone Cold. That was incredible. So he
Saya
walls.
tidak pernah
Bone
dapat
Cold gets
iklan.
killed through his
Ya kan
smoke,
lu
but he
pakai
has
ad
to drop a
blocker, Anda
volley.
menghalangi
That gets the
rezeki
orb,
orang lain,
presses in,
dosa
gets
bro.
2 kills through the smoke. The guy was all over the place. Like he was playing both sides really, really well, using his walls.
Bang,
to
gue 1
perfection.
tahun 2 bulan stuck
And
Iron
that's
Silver,
something you
kenapa
don't
teman gue
normally
udah
think of when
pada
you think of
plat?
a Sage. You don't think of this
Ya lu
or a
mainnya
jet
gitu-gitu
main.
aja, tidak
Is
berkembang
you
kali.
don't think of a Sage doing perfect utility all across the map, but that's what Cena did here.
It's seen it. What can we expect? And on the other side, I saw a Turco. Well, did you guys see him? Because I missed him. I mean, I can see him on stage, but I'm
Si
really
Turco
sad that
lagi-
he didn't pull up a great
Ini,
Sky
bro.
because I feel like Sky is
Lagi
such
bad
a
day, bro,
strong
si Turco,
agent,
bro.
especially
Dari tadi
right now.
nembakin
And he
nge-wave
could have done
terus.
a great job, but I just didn't see it happening. I do feel like they were doing
Yang
a good
bahasa
job
Indo.
defending B, or at
Enggak
least
bro,
trying
ntar
to.
itu
We saw most
kemungkinan
of the
takedownnya
times
lebih
they
gede
were,
bro. Ini
going
aja, jadi
toward
kan
that
orangnya
A
pada
side,
gak
because I
ngerti.
feel like it's easier when you play in the Brimstone, when you have the Viper, when you have the wall, creating the space for yourself and building the sides to what you desire.
Lu solo
it's
ketemu
easier.
tim noob.
We saw some pretty cool stuff.
Matchmaking
Both sides,
itu
I would say.
menyesuaikan
But
sama
Bala
skill
is
lu.
standing
Jadi
by
kalau
at the
skill lu
end of the
segitu,
ball
lu
with some in-depth
disamain sama teammate yang skillnya segitu juga.
You know we got
Jadi
more of
Valorant
this
menganggap
every
skill lu itu
single time
segitu,
we're gonna take a
makanya lu
look at
ditemukan
some
sama
of these
player-player
plays from
begitu.
Ascend, because it was pretty much dominant. I'm going to look at a different round here where they do actually spend that old school Fnatic style wall. If you look at the telestrator over there, and Izzy is actually pushed down long.
Goreng
He
apa rebus?
got some info,
Goreng
but
lah.
it's really hard to
Kalau
do
rebus
much when
berkuah
before
basah
this,
mana enak.
if you remember the pistol round wall, it was playing like this, and that's why you see this Viper playing inside a bathroom. But because they switched it up,
Ya
the
bro,
solo's
analisnya
confused.
gahar
He's like,
bro.
hold on, do I have to play off of site? Do I have to play off of site, go back up into tower, or do I do
Itu
something
dia yang
different?
gambar,
That's exactly
gigi
the kind
juga.
of confusion you get when you throw these different walls at it. Let's go ahead and roll the clip and see exactly what happens, because it's a burst execute what the Brim gives you in that situation. This Brim right here, he gives you that burst ability that you have. 2 smokes on the site, Zeke dashes on the site as well into
Oh,
land,
mereka
and that
main
gives him a
Viper sama
massive
main
setup.
Brim,
Nobody was
smoke-nya
playing there
GG
because they
cuy,
had
nggak
to
bisa
back
lihat
up
apa-apa,
off the
sumpah
wall.
tuh lihat.
And this is where that
Defendernya nggak bisa lihat apa-apa di
Zeke
smoke
playing
Viper, di
inside,
smoke Brimstone.
really close. Braves trying to figure out
Tembok
exactly where to
Sage
go.
lah, aduh.
And it's really hard
Sulit
to
bro jadi
find
SMB bro.
anything, actually, in terms of, you know,
Gak
what
bisa
the play is.
ngapa-ngapain.
Darkso still has bathroom control all the way
Lama
in the
analisnya.
site.
Ya
There's
tapi
really
gak apa-apa
no
lah,
hope.
belajar
The
lah bro.
flanks are watched.
Nanti
The
nonton
Seekers
turnamen
come
jadi
out
makin
from spawn,
jago.
But that's a little too late. You don't really have the time, and they haven't cleared anything behind that wall.
Nonton
at all.
turnamen gini bisa
And
buat
this
nyari
last crunch
strategi
is
dah.
ridiculous.
Kalau kalian punya tim
Playing the
e-sport
crossfire
sendiri,
with
mau
Cena
nyari
and
strategi ya nonton turnamen orang
you know,
lain.
you can't really stop him when you get the crossfire like that, when you get the support from your teammates, and at that point the round is pretty much wrapped, and we can call it quits from there. That's how Ascend wins 13-5. The scoreline ridiculous the entire time, and you know, as we head into the second map of Ascent and kind of close out the series and go into the third map too, it's going to be difficult for them to really
bro, buru second map bro, nungguin gua nih.
Ascent. It is one of those maps that has a bit of a similar style as
Gua
well.
ke Berlin kayak
when you
gato bawa
really
Palu
think
Arif.
about it, and Ascend is
Besok ke
really, really
Berlin
good.
nih, analisnya bilang gue buruan bro, nungguin nih lama nih.
So I can't wait to see that, Yancy.
Ya
Well,
udah
thank
bro.
you so much for that, Bala. And as Bala, you know, alluded to, we are going to have to
Lah,
go on to Ascent. But of
kenapa
course,
ini
the
di
first
meja
time that
analis
was
lama
Ascent's
sekali?
pick. This is not the biggest surprise ever. We knew they were going to be incredible. But coming into Ascent, though, Kukuka, this could potentially be the equalizer.
I mean, we have to think that SMB
CSGO-nya susah tuh Valorant. Tolong Anda belajar bahasa Indonesia yang baik dan benar dulu, baru Anda merangkai kalimat dengan baik sehingga pertanyaan Anda jelas.
Feel like Ascent have gotten so much better because they decided to switch their comp. They didn't want any more
Lihat yang Indo, nggak ntar gue di takedown channelnya.
Very much straightforward with the Reyna and the Omen, pretty much classic. We would say probably not one of the compositions that we see the most, but it's starting to work better and better for them. That is
Aceh
scary
defense
for
lagi,
Ascent. I
GG
actually
deh.
believe that they have a crazy result against all the other days. So
Aceh defense guys, easy penang ini. Pokoknya di Ascent yang main defense adalah yang menang. Gitu aja di Ascent.
And that's how SMB got back into the series. Now they're going to have to win on a map that Ascend is actually playing. Ascent. So they aren't
Komentator korupsi jadi ngedukung Achen. Enggak bro, emang Achen jago bro.
2 and 3 in the last 2 months. But still, you will have to deal with CNET on this jet roll, which is what Bala was just talking about.
Kalau aimnya buruk harus paksain aim apa benerin? Angel. Angel lah. Enggak, pokoknya jangan terlalu berharap sama aim. Cara ngebunuh itu bukan cuma nge-aim dong, bisa aja pakai ability kalau bener. Bisa aja tanpa aim lu tembakan hoki. Jadi aim bukan segalanya. Guys, main Omen bro. Brave main Omen, Cenet main Jet. Cenet udah GG nih, udah tadi Sagi kill banyak udah capek, sekarang main Jet. Gak capek bro, tadi udah carry, sekarang main Jet lagi.
What do you make of this, Sean?
That's very interesting because, like the graphic showed, he plays a lot of Omen, and I love Astra. I love Astra as a controller in this game. I think you can.
Astra Killjoy GG sini. Iya Astra Killjoy bener tuh, lihat Bonkol sama Killes Astra Killjoy. Easy menang ini, Achen udah Astra Killjoy combo gini.
I feel like this is very interesting from them. This is also a change for them. Going a little bit back to
ini lihat nih, pemain-pemain SMW tertarik oleh Astra, dimoli sama Killjoy, mati semua. Kalau terlagi PC-nya sama, iyalah disediain sponsor. Masa bawa PC sendiri, lu ke Berlin bawa PC aja lebih mahal daripada tiket pesawat lu. Kayak main bro.
Certainly a tough challenge. Certainly is. I mean,
main bro langsung, ente nggak usah muncul, ente cuma komentator.
But as we said, they came in with the expectation on the Supermassive Play side that map 1 probably not going to be theirs. Map 2 on the other hand, this is where they want to get it done, and we are ready to jump into the map. By the sounds of things, we've had a couple of changes yet again, Tom, as we get into Ascent.
Nah.
Supermassive Blaze will be on the attack.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see an Astra, especially on this map. I like the way that you can use
main Astra GG sih, kalau main Ascent susah banget lawannya.
And also give you the ability to go for slightly more aggressive plays, like having all of those grab walls to pull players in and have some combinations of utility. Although
intinya main nggak pengen lihat. Enggak main hari ini, lusa. Apa ente cuma mau lihat tense doang sih, ini bocil-bocil fan tense doang cuy sumpah. Biasanya komentator berdiri. Enggak, biar semangat bro. Biar semangat. Drone-nya nggak nembak loh. Cuma nakut-nakutin doang drone-nya. Nggak di-recon drone.
Managed to clear out some of the early control, but the fact is Ascender safe from a split on the B side because of the early wall. So it almost has to just
komunikasinya GG banget, cuma dengar suara doang langsung ditarik loh.
Some of those early positions. You can see the turret uses a bait and switch, and it's that right click to just take Pora's head clean off.
Dari tadi klik kanan klasik selalu berulah. Hampir. Ya GG mati dia. Gak bisa kabur kemana-mana nih. Bro, Cenet nge-cheat bro, sumpah. Tembakan apa itu? Ada cheater di sini bro. Ya, nge-wave. Masih ada Cenet santuy, Cenet izin. Yes, Sarso.
It's bone cold to close things out in the pistol and a few cheeky little set plays from Ascend to win them the round.
They're talking about win conditions for Ascend. Obviously they're starting on the defense.
Karyawan sakit ya, siapa suruh karyawan.
Clock up a couple of rounds, but building on the momentum of the previous
moderator sel nebak lagu. Nggak tahu beberapa ada, tadi perasaan ada, sekarang hilang. Tahu lah. Langsung bersin aku alergi nge-wave. Pakai Ares dong si Zack yang wallbang lihat nih. Wallbang gaming. Oh nggak dapat si start tuh. Pakai Ares wallbang gaming.
If he's doing that already with an Ares, it's not something that you will commonly not do.
Kok fan
For the
zones?
other weaponry.
Zones jago ini, jago
They've lost the second player.
Sentinel.
This is already getting into pretty dangerous territory for Ascend. Not just in terms of losing the round, but economy as well. You really don't want to be losing this many players. They're looking over towards the A side here. Supermassive Blaze
Ya aja kosong bro.
They have only got the 2 players to work with. The weapons are very weak, but one more kill here, Tom, and that will be a huge blow to Ascend.
Ya Ares Gaming kasih gendok deh.
I think they might have
Kok ketemu lagi nih, ntar lagi ketemu nih.
trying to find themselves a duel, but the fact is crossing past this angle is going to be nigh on impossible, and they're trying to
Jadi kejebak
basically
mereka nggak bisa
define
kemana-mana.
where on earth these remaining Ascend players are actually going to be. The fact is though, with Russ able to get himself
Expected so far dong ini observer. Nah. Nah. Observernya ngelamun dulu.
I think they would have wanted it a little bit cleaner, but 3 players is not bad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, 2-0 is what it is. You get a couple of weapons. Sure, you're probably going to have a player or 2 on pistols coming into this one. Looking at what they've
Cenet killnya cuma 1, tapi dia untuk kill 1 dia cuma sekali ngeklik doang loh. Sekali klik 1 kill udah.
They're going to have to take out that Sheriff on kill as Spectres in play for Starzone Bone Cold. They know that the likelihood is they lose this round. They just want to make sure they keep
Shock Gaming.
Problem is, as I said, CNET investing up, he's not going to be able to.
Nggak berani maju mereka, takut di wallbang.
Well, yeah, either if he gets his Blade Storm, then he's one
Awas
of the
Cenet.
round.
Iya kabur dia.
He would have to get enough kills, or maybe get 4 and die. That would be fine as well. But the chances are you're just going to be taking it over.
Bonus round sih ini lah, pasti Cenet beli Vandal sendiri.
It's unlikely to be happening.
Cenet beli Vandal sendiri padahal bonus round loh.
Give them an opportunity to try and
Oh dia minta drop paling ke Sikiles.
Couldn't quite get over the wall there with the drone. If it had him, that could have been nice, spotting out a second player in mid. Instead, they slow it down a little bit, but
Kok
they don't
ngepen
get a whole
dapper
lot
soalnya
in
suka
terms of
nge-tibek.
reward for that drone committed.
Emang apa kalau di tibek? Fungsi tibek apa? Nggak ada fungsinya. Fungsi nge-tibek apa guys? Aku nggak tahu.
Broken from further away, allowing Bone Cold to catch them by surprise, but even while being pulled, Pora is able to take down one.
Iya turret. Aduh langsung low dia sama turret.
Time as well with 29 HP left, that could have gotten scary. These fights are never going to be ideal for Ascend with the weaker weapons.
Kesulitan lompat sedikit. Iya kesulitan nembak juga. Dapat 2 dong si Kiles.
This now becomes a really dangerous scenario for Supermassive Blaze. They're going to use the paranoia just to hold the remaining players back.
Kira mencari main agen. Ya lu coba-coba lah.
Stick it down, but the problem is they're re-aggressing already. The push coming through. Kiles gets his
Belum ngeplan dan di retake aja. Belum ngeplan dan di retake gak dikasih plan dong.
Just one rifle and they managed to win it.
I think we painted the picture, Tom. They should
Gak dikasih plan sama sekali majuinnya. GG juga.
Realistically, this was a round that Ascend knew that they were going to lose, and yet still they come out on
Lihat
top.
enak banget mainnya tuh jedor.
Grabbing the nano swarm frag onto Pora, then quickly delivering a second and even going in.
Si Kiles enak banget wes cuma pencet ability, tembak 2 kali nge-kill.
Well, yeah, it was that initial damage. Like, although
Aku nge-fan ZDM keren. Ya makasih bro.
It weakened enough that the turret almost kills off Pora, and then the extra utility is
Lihat dia ngancurin rekonnya di one tap tuh. Ya tapi orangnya nggak kena. Ke 1-2. Ya. Ya di one dik. Wih Akel, thank you udah join. Dapat lagu langka lagi nih. Semoga mendapat hidayah Akel, thank you udah join.
No way.
Getting out of here is impossible for Turco without taking a fight. He's already spotted up Starzo and taken him down. Okay.
Turco Gaming. Muter badan wandik lah.
As much as I love the Odin, it's not really what you want if you're retaking a side a lot of the time. Supermassive Blaze have all the control and
Enggak sih Odin masih GG sih buat retake bisa wallbang.
It's a weird scenario. The fact that Turco spins that and manages to find the kill.
Lo ke B, lo liatin sofa dong, observer ngelindur. Liatin B woi. Pakai ke B, observernya ngelindur cuy.
Because they know that killers will have left. Instead though, he now peeks in and spots, okay, there's somebody at least around the A area. So they're getting information off those turrets and they may not necessarily expect Zeke to be
nice, harganya pas di kantong. Kantong Anda receh sekali 5.000. Tapi gak apa-apa sih. 5.000 itu berguna guys. biar AdSense gue bisa dicairin. Kalau AdSense kurang 5.000 nggak bisa dicairin. Kalau AdSense ada 5.000 bisa dicairin. Dan biar headset gak gampang mati sebelah, beli merek bagus. Merek bagus itu investasi, beli sekali dipakai bertahun-tahun gitu. Jadi sebenarnya merek-merek murahan nih, misal merek Rexus, merek Fantech gitu, itu kan merek murah. Beli sekali pakai berapa bulan rusak, itu jadi kalian beli lagi. Nah itu jebakan. Kalau beli merek bagus, contoh ini, atau Logitech gitu, atau tolong Logitech sponsor gua. Itu investasi, beli sekali pakai bertahun-tahun. 15 sek Odin wallbang. Enggak bisa kayaknya tuh plastiknya penyok. Bisa langsung TP kosong. Plan dong. Nice. Ayo SMB pecah telur. Itu tembak bawah dikit. Aduh. Ditungguin dong. Gila bro. Pakai operator jarak deket bro.
Just one down below, trapped in. Russ needs to make something happen. Bora is making the short play, lurking out, trying to find space, but CNET
gak jadi pecah telur, ada cenlet bro.
To close out the round and a fifth on the board for the defenders.
Gak jadi pecah telur, ada cenlet, gak bisa dilawan.
Dominating, that we expected them to come through and slap Ascend in similar fashion to what we saw on the first map, but now Ascend already have 5 rounds.
Headset gua Rexus, oh ya semoga cepat rusak. Soalnya Rexus merek butut. Selama Rexus belum sponsor gue ejekin. Lihat mukanya santuy banget loh dia main nih, lihat muka dia santuy banget tuh. Bro ngapain bro? Lagi ngapain bro? Wih, mantap. Nah.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. The jump up, I didn't believe it was going to come through from Brave, but I guess
terculik bos.
Nice shot,
oh, tapi ada cenat di sini. Cenat gaming. Ya kerikon. Ya kerikon.
Not quite getting him out of there as safely as he would have hoped. The heal just about saves him, popping him back up onto basically full HP. Good tag. Oh, it's the kill
dapat
as
satu.
well. Zeke doing damage, covering CNET's retreat.
Gila bro, pick kanan dapat, pick kiri dapat dia.
And Supermassive Blaze yet again are looking
gak apa-apa beli headset mahal, yang penting tahan lama. Jangan maksain beli juga kalau gak punya bang. Betul. Pakai ini aja earphone yang dapat dari HP itu bagus, tahan lama lagi. Dibanting-banting masih jalan.
Oh, they think he's still in the corner. They shock darted it. They're going back to check their flank, and what are they going to find? They're going to find CNET.
Nggak ketembak bro, nggak kencet bro.
Take him down. This is a pretty good position to play from. Zeke jump spotting. I mean, he could even be taken down. The timing is right.
Aduh hampir.
One on the side. Good damage.
Aduh.
Delivers a third kill.
Odinnya gagal bu.
He's not going to have the res online, but it is a 1v1. The best chance for Supermassive Blaze so far.
Akankah pecah telur bung? 8 peluru. Wih, Turko Gaming tadi nge-wave, sekarang jago.
When it came down to the last map, this man is a beast on Sage, and he's going to get his first round.
The man is a beast, Tom. I agree. You have to look at that.
Maksud gue Logitech headsetnya sadis, keyboard Rexus. Bervariasi. Gue juga bervariasi. Soalnya HP zaman sekarang gak dapat headset. Iya sih pelit karena zaman dulu beli HP dapat charger, dapat kabel, dapat headset, dapat HP-nya, kadang-kadang dibonusin SIM card. Gak bakal takedown, akunnya di banned. Janganlah bro, jangan doain bro. Ya juga kalian nontonin kan lewat gua kan.
I don't know if anybody at home can hear this, but they are literally
Tactical timeout, bro. Bro, oke, kita udah pecah telur, ini harus gimana, bro? Kita kalau kalah udah keluar dari turnamen, belum sih lower bracket. Harus menang, bro. Kita udah pecah telur ini. Nah, Red Bull selalu di mana-mana karena duit marketingnya besar. Jadi di mana-mana dia sponsor. Yang beli nggak ada. Bahkan di Indonesia namanya Krating Daeng. Ayo mod dulu mikir, bro, kayak main catur, bro. Nggak nonton caster Indo, nggak, ntar gue di takedown. Gue ada muka orang di jendela, oke. Easy gaming, bro.
Let's see what you got, Zeke. Let's see those spams coming through. Shock dart on the way, just in case someone had snuck on through. But this is going to be a slow round.
Wih, Cenet gak lihat siapa-siapa maju nih dia. Agresif player si Cenet ini gak pernah mundur, maju dia.
Unquestionable. But now Izzy wants to show that he's the best Turkish shopper. Wants to make a name for himself.
Well, yeah, they are two players within EMEA battling for that, right? The problem is, thus far, Izzy hasn't.
Santuy amat main midnya. Oh, kill dia aja ketemu Cenet nih. Oh, kebakar, aduh, 6 health. 6 health, Bung.
Great play by Pora. Yeah, from the start to the finish there. Even manages to finish off Bone Cold, not the player who was
cedor, aduh, nggak dapet. Kalau timingnya udah dapet lah itu operatornya, tapi nggak kena. Hanya dapat, bro. Kenapa mundur? Majulah, hanya dapat. Astaga, SMB. Kenapa mundur ke short? Majulah ke garden lah. Aduh, kecut sekali. Gue ngechat di Valorant Indonesia di DM ganteng. Oh iya, selamat. Di sponsor Red Bull mau nggak? Mau lah. Siapa yang menolak duit? Banteng merah. Udah, stop banteng merah. Wih. Apa yang terjadi? Banteng merah. Banteng merah, bro. SMB bisa menang, bro. Walaupun ngeblunder. Bisa gitu, bro, mainnya, bro.
And it's that big play by Killaz that really puts the spanner into the works. The fact that he manages to creep down middle, somewhere that definitely should have been covered much more actively. He's able to take those head peak fights, win out 2.
Oh, perlahan-lahan SMB comeback nih. Perlahan-lahan. Gak usah cepat-cepat, perlahan-lahan aja.
But they clutch it back at the last second. A good opening as well. I have to say, Pora's fight onto Cena, not only did he avoid dying to him, he used his turret to try and bait him out in the first place. Then he swings, takes the fight, and had his nano swarm already thrown in to stop that dash out. And a factor of 6.
Nah, ini fungsinya apa? Di slow terus di bintang. Mau tarik dalam slownya? Bagaimana ini? Oh ya, kalau ditarik dalam slow nggak bisa kabur ya? Pintar juga. Kalau slow orb dipasangin bintang terus ditarik nggak bisa kabur mereka. Wih, ada orang lompat. Iya. Iya, ditembok teman sendiri. Ditembok teman sendiri.
This is where, okay, now they've spotted 2 players. They're still here. You know that they're stacked up, but it doesn't look like they're all too concerned, wanting to just punish them and take them down here and now. A late flank coming in from Killaz. It's being watched, or it was being watched by Pora.
Aduh, keculik.
Conscious of that play, watching for the spawn as well. I mean, this is perfect. Supermassive Blaze not giving any opportunities really for a big hero play to come through over.
Mereka main aman, gak keculik, ya nggak jadi keculik. Awal-awal udah bagus mainnya, main aman biar nggak keculik soalnya lawan Iko. Akhir-akhir mau ngeplan. Pelan-pelan tapi barbar. Enggak, emang turnamen mainnya gitu. Nggak pernah turnamen main cepet.
Didn't actually get to see it from his POV.
It's kind of like you see CNET, you're like, oh, he didn't get 4 kills that round? Probably didn't.
Yeah, he didn't use it. Well, he died. He didn't even get 1. It's like, come on, he can't use his blades, so that wouldn't make any sense. But after what was a 5-round streak, even with a couple of
PDP bukan lucu tapi bunuh diri, masuk penjara. Enggak lah, bro, PDP punya kuasa apa, bro? Ente banteng aja nggak merah tapi hitam. Itu bisa di wallbang, dah. Itu bisa di wallbang. Tapi nggak tahu lah sofanya kemana. Sofanya malah main sih ini. Wih, SMB kembali lebih kuat bro. Comeback stronger.
For Turco might not necessarily be expected, but the after plant's looking stellar. Again, you've got Pora waiting on the lurk.
Cenet mati bro. Apakah Acan masih bisa retake? Iya mati 2. Aduh ulti Astra kebuang bro. Ulti Astra bro. Iya. Padahal itu strategi bagus, ulti Astra, terus belakangnya taruh ulti Killjoy. Jadi musuh nggak bisa kabur, stuck di side. Stuck di side nanti ke D10 baru kalian majuin. Tapi di sini belum keburu ulti Killjoy udah mati semua.
There is the counter to that of they then decided to play that super aggressive style. They wanted to get up in their face. They weren't waiting on the B-side for them to come in.
Kok get keju?
So we can deal with it. No, they ran at them and seized all the space back. 5-4. We had a tactical pause come out of Supermassive Blaze, and since then they've been looking pretty hard.
Oh iya, tadi mereka time out dulu terus langsung jago mainnya. Bener berarti terkadang itu kalian coba butuh timeout biar jago mainnya. Santuy bro lawan Iko bro. Musuhnya Deagle doang bro. Kejebak deh, kejebak kesalahan sendiri, ngapain ke kanan, mundur aja. Dia greedy mau nyari kill, dia malah kejebak sendiri.
Operator in hand, Izzy is easily able to dispatch these players on Ascend. Bone Cold and Zeke, Sheriff's in hand, hoping for headshots, but none to be landed just yet. This is going to be a tough fight in the corner. Surely they check it.
Nggak dicek. Ya rip em.
Okay, well look, it's a sheriff round, it's a weak buy, but with Pora and Izzy being so
ayo Acan cepat, aku mau tidur. Cepat Anda selesai match ini udah GG. Timeout memperbaiki men. Enggak memperbaiki strategi bro. Tuh lihat easy, mainnya easy bro. Namanya easy, mainnya easy.
It might be because when you're that Odin player, you don't necessarily want to be switching in rounds where you actually have the Odin available, but they don't have it here, so yeah, just a little bit peculiar. We've also got the Blade Storm and the Res currently online for Supermassive Blaze, so 5 round streaks on either side. I wonder.
Ente jangan bawa-bawa politik.
Let's see. The Sand have got it in them to take this one across the line. The operator of CNET on the other side of the map. Supermassive Blaze.
Di situ di wallbang si Boncode kan, si Boncode di wallbang langsung.
There's stars everywhere. There's nano swarms, there's alarm bots, there's absolutely everything they could hope for, and those
berduaan di Under Heaven. Pacaran. Jedor, aduh nggak kena. Aduh nggak kena lagi.
Space for Izzy to get frags with the op. The Hunter's Fury wasn't supposed to kill, just to reposition, but both shots miss.
Oke, easy bro. Iya kebakar. Iya ke flank. Kenapa maju sendiri? Kenapa chatnya maju sendiri? Kenapa omennya ikut-ikutan? Bro, SMB ente main kok kacau.
Turco as well is already watching this flank. It was everything for Zeke to get that kill, but they had him sandwiched in, and now the only one remaining is CNET to try and face off. Well, I was gonna say versus 4, but it's now down to 3, and Turco
masih menang dong mereka. Jetnya maju sendiri, terus omennya ikut-ikutan loh.
I still can't believe they're 5-0 down. 6 in a row, just took them a little bit of time to get off the mark, and now they're looking unbelievable.
Kenapa nama channel lu? Oh itu gak tahu gue juga. Jangan tanya ke gue. Kalau dapat ginian dari maksud lu ginian apaan? Maksud lu ginian apa? Biasanya kalau ada satu yang maju bakal nula. Enggak bro, itu dia ulti maju sendiri bro, ngapain sumpah. Bawa operator lagi. Bawa operator ke musuhnya.
Found that operator's definitely been struggling in a couple of these rounds. Now up against the pistols yet again. Like, this is a forced buy from Ascend, obviously because it's the last round of the half, but they still couldn't get anything.
Smoke cuma tarik doang, bukan smoke lama.
Rifle to fight for 6-6.
Sekarang baru smoke lama.
Well, let's see if Bone Cold
Wih, naik bro, kepalanya kelihatan bro. Aduh, malah dia yang mati.
Never mind, his head's been taken off anyway. Again, they have a couple of players around to try.
Ini Acen buka cukur rambut, ini sumpah musuhnya dicukur semua rambutnya.
Go absolutely ham. He does have his res available to him to bring a teammate back, but if anything, he goes for that now. Teammate dead
Itu
again.
geli banget sebelah-sebelahan.
That's the thing. And I think he's just been spotted. Yes, he has. There's the tag on the wall. You see, they're saying he's close.
Ah, sayang sekali, Bung.
In comes the Ares, but not good for those kind of fights.
Padahal SMB udah kacau loh yang menang. Iya, mereka masih banyak ini apa playernya. Yang iseng cuma 2 orang, masih ada sisa 3 ya udah. Ini bisa di wallbang nggak sih? Boleh nggak? Pakai bug wallbang ulti killjoy ini? Nggak boleh ya?
He's going to push right afterwards. He's still looking for kills. He's taking down the first, swapping over the weapon, going to go and destroy it.
GG.
Done as well. The other players backed up.
Bro.
This could actually be huge. One player even got detained. Down goes the turret. He taps the defuse. It's all a ruse. Trying to bait him in the open, and eventually he does. Unfortunately,
sulit.
Very nice try. In fact, the Spectre in a 1v4. Hey, he almost got that done.
Yeah, no, I'm really surprised he got anywhere.
Pakai bug wallbang ulti killjoy nggak boleh ya? Diskualifikasi. Tolong ini buan code 2 kill 11 dead. Ada apa? Menurut lu pro player Indo masih di bawah dari orang luar atau setara atau lebih bagus? Yang Indo itu menurut gue lebih individualistis gitu. Belum terlalu fokus taktik tim. Mainnya sendiri-sendiri.
I'm really interested in that question that Tom's asking right now because SMB has struck back in the second map and
ya kayak ini aja sepak bola lah. Persib lawan siapa? Manchester United yang menang Manchester United.
Let's go ahead and take a look at a round that I think turned the tides in this map so far.
Analisnya nggak capek dari tadi berdiri loh dia.
Because let's roll the clip and you'll see basically you've got one. Let's zoom in right here on this lockdown.
Ini ulti bisa di wallbang dengan mudah, tapi sofanya malah mundur.
Play the lockdown there, and sometimes you have the sight lines with the Sova to actually be able to hunt his fury it or shock dart it or a bunch of different things. Very common, but you have instantly the dash from.
Dia ke drone ini ya, ke drone nggak berani ngepick. Takut ditembusin smoke.
And you look at how they're playing this retake. You actually have. Look at this player up here. You have the Sage up on top of the wall, and he has a really fantastic angle because nobody on the side.
GG sih ini ngalangin market sekalian jagain CT. Kalau susah ya tinggal turun. Ini nggak hoki aja killjoy-nya malah keculik tuh. Harusnya killjoy-nya ulti situ.
As the Sage gets contact, and they're gonna just completely wipe the round off with that. All players down, one player left stuck.
Ya ini Acen tidak hoki. Killjoy-nya malah mati jadi nggak bisa ngulti. Acen lagi ngapur ngasih sen. Nggak gitu bro. Nggak gitu. Persib lawannya Persib. Ya andaikan pasti kalah tapi.
There was a couple of things where CNED was starting to get a couple frags with his op. He was starting to get a little hot, but after that,
nah, ini ngisi durasi doang, dia dikasih 20 detik lagi doang udah nggak tahu mau ngomong apa, jadi dia ngisi durasi. Kalau dikasih 14 detik bisa gajinya dipotong itu. Tidak beres analisnya, masih sisa waktu dipotong gajinya. Ya kadang lihat orang luar mainnya set masuk rata. Enggak, mereka ini bro main nunggu dulu, sabar. Kalau udah pasti baru digas. Kalau nggak yakin ya diam aja lu. Makanya mereka biasanya maju last second gitu, 30 detik terakhir baru digas, baru di plan. Itu rondenya lama.
Phenomenal comeback from Supermassive Blaze after what was the early rounds. We saw Izzy starting to step up, but all in all, like everybody had their moments. Clutches coming out from Turco to close out some of the rounds.
Ya udah buru bro, sini mana second half.
But they did do incredibly well in their pistol rounds. You never know, maybe this is why Bone Cold will get him another one.
Maybe.
Kalah ini masih nggak apa-apa kan, masih ada lower bracket. Wih, cenet. Dari tadi tuh pistolnya satu tap. Wih. Hampir. Hampir spray down.
But a big clutch from Turco. This guy has been insane so far, Tom. This might be too much to ask, though.
Yeah, especially with
Tinggal si Turco nih. Terkepung, bos. Gak bisa ngapa-ngapain, bos.
I might be a little bit disappointed. The fact is that I don't know if it's actually going to be Starzo that does anything here, because there are players holding the crossbow and Cole going to be watching and will spot out his position. No, he's not coming in from behind, and now it just leaves this disgusting crossfire. Even going to pull in a star.
Wih, Brian di atas.
He was aware.
He was.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but there were 3 players to deal with and an Astra Star right below him. So he didn't really have a choice on that one. Also, great use of the
GG, bro.
Astra Stars to just run down
Acan majunya.
when it came to putting it on
Ada cenet gak bisa dilawan, bro. Dia kayak traktor. Kalau udah maju gak bisa di stop kecuali di rem sendiri.
Couple of seconds before it fades away. It's 7-6.
Saya jadi player gratisan. Ya, nggak apa-apa lah. Kalau lihat skin mahal, jiwa miskinmu bergejolak.
No, well, it put you in an incredibly good spot normally. It's just not normal that the case of your opponents winning 7 rounds in a row.
True.
So,
very true.
You know what? It's a little bit of a
Oh
difference.
iya, mereka kalah 7 ronde berturut-turut.
I think he actually
Menang 5, kalah 7.
almost gets himself an extra kill in that round. So, he did his best, but
Mengembalikan situasi di sini Acan deh. Langsung maju. Killjoy entry dong. Yang entry-nya Killjoy. Wih, des ke depan. Fearless.
And this is going as expected. We're looking good for a Prime Gaming flawless, and let's see if that comes through.
GG bro, flawless bro.
Kill is farming up a bunch of orbs along with stars.
Nggak keculik satu pun nih GG nih.
Coming into 7-7.
Honestly, I'm surprised you didn't jinx that. Like, you calling a flawless before it even happens.
Why not?
It's a bold play,
roll the dice.
to say the least, but
Wonko tulang kering. Tolong Anda bahasa Inggrisnya dipelajari lagi.
I've really been enjoying Killers in this map actually.
Dan traktor lebih tepat Corolla. Corolla kesandung batu berhenti. Traktor lah bro. Non-stop dia. Bahkan nggak perlu digas, tinggal ada ini kan lever, tinggal ditarik langsung maju deh.
To almost just either make it incredibly costly, or in this case, get himself ever closer to that ultimate, which as we saw in the last half for Pora, was incredibly impactful.
Shortnya udah masuk aja, nggak dijaga midnya. Oh, jaganya Garden. Dikira midnya nggak dijaga, ternyata ada di Garden. Wih, gila bro, baru muter Garden langsung bunuh 2. Nggak SK ini, oh enggak. GG Gaming bro, si Brave bro. Nah, XP boost 3% Battle Pass, worth it lah. Beli aja, semakin cepat lo beli semakin gede XP lo.
Bunko's really not having a good game right now, is he? I mean, we know his Brimstone is world class. You saw his lurk gameplay when it came to the previous map. He was able to do so much, but right now, man, I mean, the Astra on this map kind of surprised me because he was always playing the Omen, right? You were always looking for those. I mean, just the paranoia alone has so much impact, but it also is very similar to what he'd be doing with him.
Kok komentatornya ngejekin sih?
And now, well, the change up, it's definitely had impact.
Harusnya kalau combo slow orb mending sama granat gak sih, bukan sama shock dart. Jadi granat trace di slow orb nggak bisa kabur mati. Kalau shock dart damage cuma 90, 80 malah. Aduh, cenet bro. Piknya cepat sekali bro.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now look at this. Opening kill has come through with Pora falling. Pora, another player has been so pivotal.
Ini cenet kalau main sendiri doang menang gak ya? Kok mati dari mana nih? Oh, dari Garden. Bang, 973 VP buat apa? Buat didiamin aja. Nggak bisa beli apa-apa itu. Nggak bisa sih beli skin yang butut, skin yang biru. Kemarin gua diblok dari komentar gara-gara ngomong ayam goreng pakai sambal hijau lalapan. Ya udah nggak apa-apa.
other than that, you're just going to be throwing weaponry into the wind. And on the other side of things, like, yeah,
Toyota Corona.
the utilities already been deployed.
Jangan Corolla bro, Camry lah, Camry.
Supermassive blaze. You just want to keep the economy strong. Make sure you can come back into the next round. Maybe get on operator.
88 nih bos.
On this map in
Imbang
particular
gaming.
is incredibly good at taking map control away from opponents on the defense. So I want to see that come into play at some point.
I like that. You know,
Aduh, kecuali Kiles.
it's a
Apa namanya
thing.
Kiles sih?
But I just heard the players. I'm not sure if the guys at home, if y'all on Twitch, YouTube, or wherever you might be watching. I'm not sure if you will have heard it. But the guys in Ascend, they hit a big woo. You know, they're getting hyped. They're really pulling it. And I just saw Pora then like kind of look up and go, woo. They just returned.
Ya padahal dia nggak tahu loh ada orang situ ngepick aja, tapi dapet. Cenat nge-cheat bro, sumpah bro. Gak ada info apa-apa bisa nge-pick dapet bro. Dikit lagi 20k. Masih jauh lah, masih jauh.
They just, every time someone was asked like, yo, you guys, you got a rivalry like G2 Sentinels, what does it feel like? And they're like, I don't know, man, I think it's just social media. We got a lot of love for each other.
Wih.
What? Okay, there you go. Burncold's back on the
Dia
board. He's found
berani banget tur itu apa drone-nya dibiarin nembakin orangnya aja ke drone nggak bodo amat. Oh di revive. Berani banget main ini. Kalau gue main itu udah mati gue. Gak kuat aku. Enak Renggina apa keripik singkong? Rengginang lah lebih kenyang. Keripik singkong tajam bro. Gue dulu makan keripik singkong ketusuk, ada tajam kan itu keripik singkong bentuknya kalau kalian gigit jadi segitiga gitu. Ketusuk gusinya sampai berdarah, sakit bro. Keripik singkong ternyata tajam.
It's going to be a fairly drawn-out round with not a lot happening. The door is even closed, so we can't even catch an angle. And so
Turnamen dunia, iyalah. Mana ada turnamen RT bro, ini nggak cek-ecek bro.
With an operator, and they even have spawn flank covered by Starzo. There's literally nowhere that he can surprise them from.
Yeah,
GG bro, Acen attacker-nya GG.
Operator facing into mid, so like if he was to push that, he'd have to be a little bit of a maniac, and I don't think out of all the players on this team, I almost feel like Brave is like the calm within the storm, which is quite interesting considering he is the youngest as well.
Lo mau ke gunung naik Corolla tua. Oke bro.
That was said on the desk earlier, so happy birthday, Brave. I hope that your gift is you get to keep your gun.
Oh si Brave lagi ulta, oh HBD bro. Semoga mendapatkan banyak rezeki dan memenangkan match nanti lower bracket. Match ini mah biarin Acen menang dulu aja, nggak apa-apa. Nggak apa-apa, doain kalah loh.
I wonder if they'll attempt that B push again at any point, because they've now attempted it in the pistol and in this round, and in both times they've walked into every single member of a set.
Lihat itu drone-nya nggak ditembakin, malah nembakin orang. Oh di wallbang.
I would almost say that this is one of those pushes that
mati di wallbang.
You have a bit of a peek coming out from Izzy with the dash available, but other than that, I feel like it's just not worth it anymore. Like Ascend seem to love to lock that position down very early on in the round.
Yeah, they definitely do. But look at this, at the start of this round, Ascend are shifting their focus towards.
Oh ini one way smoke nih, one way smoke, tembak-tembak easy. 3 orang maju, 3 orang maju ketahuan semua.
4 players here, 3 have been seen, and that's going to be Ascend backing off. There's no way they commit to it.
Yeah, at this point,
iyalah, 3 orang ngapain nih maju? Lu lihat 3 dia ya kembel lah.
Fight each other there, but there's a lot of control already being taken. Locking down mid, we know.
Fans kan wibu, ya siapa suruh wibu?
Now we mentioned it before. He is incredibly good with his pistol.
Atuh.
He's found an angle, but Zeke is more than aware. We've seen
bro ini cheatnya cenat dipindahin ke si Zack ini bro.
The sight's gone.
God, Brave just got domed. The first was nice, the second unreasonable. The lockdown comes into effect.
Nge-cheat aja sumpah pemain Acen nge-cheat bro. Terlalu jago bro.
Normally would be considering a save. That's been heard. Starzo knows full well that there are players barreling around middle. That was not an easy fight to take. Not expecting him to be running past like that. For Turco, I think saving is definitely on the cards. Although I notice he's the closest player, and now up on top of the wall.
Iya bergeser. Yang penting selamat.
Right away. That was a disgusting attempt.
Cedor.
10-8. Ascend.
10-8 bro, semakin dekat pada kemenangan bro. Video lo bener keyboard kok dihapus. Mana ada?
And again, struggling to get off the starting block in these early
Lihat dia nggak lihat orangnya loh. Ini flick jedor aja.
I love it.
Those are those sort of kills that maybe you get like once every few weeks, and Zeke's been doing it all the way through the day. I almost feel like Supermassive Blazer got to feel a little bit hard done by.
Dia main Valorant kayak Michael Jackson main basket, Michael Jordan main basket bro, sumpah. Michael Jackson apa penyanyi?
At least to this consistency, both of these players do so well within the match, and at the moment they're looking unstoppable, especially considering Zeke has actually switched over to the Sova. It's just his aim that has been ridiculous.
Aku mendingan tapi pusing. Oh iya nggak apa-apa. Gamesan 3 tahun. Gamesan hoki. Time out langsung. Time out. Ini bagaimana bro, kalah kita bro.
Oh, well, I don't think that was a pause.
Hah?
They've gone straight into the round. We'll just see.
Oh udah mulai? Bro, ente ini tidak profesional bro, katanya di time out apa-apa.
Maybe they didn't need the pause after all.
Yeah, they didn't need the tactics. It looks like they're looking pretty clean in the 4 versus 2. CNED and Zeke
Ini 4 lawan. Apa yang terjadi bro? Ya bakalan 4 lawan 2. Masih ada cenet, masih ada harapan bro.
It's a pretty tough one. You know, obviously when you're on the attack,
Di mana ada cenet di situ ada harapan.
They've built up quite a hefty bank. But Supermassive Blaze really need to win this in a clean fashion, and they have so far.
Ada orang,
Okay, that's a trade.
Yang mati malah si Zeke.
So quickly onto Zeke, my God. Another CNED clutch needed, and
Ya.
although he's reliable when it comes to the EMEA
Ya,
region,
10-9.
he's up against Supermassive
Rich
Blaze.
Brian main.
These are his countrymen.
Rich Brian
They know
memang pro
what he's
player
up to.
tenis. Oh, dia penyanyi bro.
Debate a few steps here and there to try and pull a couple of rotations, but it was nothing that was fallen for by their opponents. And again, I feel like Brave has got away with that peak a few times now, just going into the own smoke. I feel like there's something that needs to be spammed.
Nah, sekarang baru di pause. Harusnya tadi pause-nya.
The fact is though, it has been the B site that looks a little bit more vulnerable at the moment for Supermassive Blaze. Like, A has looked pretty.
Oh yang pause si SMB lagi bukan si Acen. Si Acen mah udah 10 masih unggul, nggak apa-apa.
Or Brave was just somewhere off of the site. So if they've had him in lockdown, it's worked, and now we do actually get the tactical
and
timeout.
CNED's aced. I'm kidding. It is a timeout
I
from
can tell this
Supermassive
time
Blaze.
because we actually have a special screen which shows the map.
Yeah.
And last time I was kind of looking at it going, people are moving.
Cenet gaming bro.
Whereas this time, no one is moving. So if bamboozled again, then someone is.
Match tadi dia udah top frag, pakai Sage main sendiri. Sekarang pakai Jet masih top frag juga bro.
They are 10 to 9. They're 1 behind.
Bukan manusia dia.
That same comeback that they had in the previous half. They allowed 5 rounds to their opponents in a row that time, and then swung back into it. This is their defense, though. We expect so much more from it, but the tactic that they so love to deploy, the B main pushes, the A main pushes, the grouping up and using the pack mentality has been countered every step of the way by Ascend. So they need to go back to the drawing board, and this is where their coach gets to input quite a bit.
Oh kalau turunnya gini, coachnya bisa ikut ngomong. Pikir kayak di custom, coachnya nontonin doang, gak ngapa-ngapain. Tentanya bagus, iya bro, budgetnya gede bro. Di wall tapi speknya di ada Odin lagi.
Get the big guns out. Let's go, Zeke. Here's the recon. That's going to reveal the player down in the alley and give Zeke an opportunity. In fact, Turco manages to
Coba main Yoru, Cenet ujung-ujungnya pasti menang. Dia agen apapun menang bro, asalkan ada dia.
Otherwise. Now, this is definitely going to be a split into the B side, at least for now. The spike is being left all the way towards their spawn. They are allowing Killez to hold on to control there with his turret and then rotate late. But it looks like, yeah, they are going to commit.
I almost wondered if they were going to try and fake things out a little bit. Like
they
put
sort of
down
have with the time.
same utility. The problem though is
Sabar banget mainnya bro.
they've still got 3
Rotate ke B lagi dong. Tadi udah dia lah, rotate ke B lagi. Sagenya udah masuk market, so easy tuh.
Boathouse blocked, and now it's time to rush into the site, taking the fights as they go. But down goes the Odin. Zeke dealt with. Izzy pops out with the blade storm.
Aduh, pisaunya di antara 2 orang bro.
He's whiffed it completely as we go into the 3v3 with very little time. Ascend can't really get that spike planted. How are they going to be able to close in the distance? They need the kill so quickly. Bone Cold.
Nggak ada waktu, ngapain nge-pick?
The round already supermassive.
Turko,
blazes.
kenapa
You
Anda
would
mati? Gak ada
imagine,
waktu
but
bro,
that
sembunyi
last
aja.
kill-
Astaga.
They got you.
I'm seeing 4 seconds left. I'm like, oh, it's done, it's dusted. But they just about managed
They
to
got
pull
the
it off.
kill.
Udah gak ada waktu loh, masih bisa
11-9.
menang loh.
That's one of those rounds where Supermassive Blaze have got to be kicking themselves, man. They did everything right. They delayed it, and it's the player
Dan kasih aku
who was doing
moderator.
nothing the whole
Nggak
way
bro,
along.
mending ente nggak
Must
usah
have went
ngomong.
12 rounds in a row without a kill, and he turns up.
Jelas masih
right
muda
when
udah
he needs to.
jago.
Well, yeah, and also
Ya kan ini kalau e-sport makin lu tua makin lemes mainnya. Jadi
I was sold 100%.
lu paling jago itu saat lu masih muda, udah tua jadi makin cupu. Nggak kayak catur, kalau catur makin tua makin jago, kalau sini makin tua makin cupu.
Like literally, if that player stayed boathouse, they won off time. That's one of those things, man. Try to play with your teammates, and it's the wrong decision. That's why I always bait. It doesn't work.
Ya, ya mati midnya.
But an early couple of trades. A 4 versus 4 weaponry is in the bin for Supermassive Blaze. They've got themselves a Marshall, a couple of SMGs, but they have managed to find themselves an opener. Now their A-site hold has definitely been the better of the two. The problem is they don't really have much space around it. They do.
Belum masuk udah di ulti aja.
They do. That's going to buy them a lot of time. Delaying it down. That
Wih.
mid-peak. Great shot.
Oke, Marshall loh.
See a Marshall in hand. Only one shot if he hits the heady, and that he most certainly does. Starzo has spotted a player dropping down. The Marshall poking and prodding at him. Hopefully the slow will be enough to keep him back. As Starzo closes the distance,
Ya, strategi atas bawah tidak kelihat. Kelihat. Strategi atas bawah, bro. Hanya dapat, bro. Aceh, bro. Let's go. Tembak. Tembak, bro. Oh. Nge-cheat, bro. Aceh sumpah bisa tahu loh. Itu Sofa nggak pernah nunjukin keberadaannya. Tapi bisa tahu. Muda e-sport tua catur. Ya udah tua main catur aja. 12-9 bro, easy. Refleks berkurang. Enggak lah, semakin tua usia semakin tak berdaya. Kayak atlet bulu tangkis aja udah tua ya pensiun. Ya langsung time out. Bro, kita kalah ronde ini langsung masuk lower bracket, bro. Enggak ya. Yang time out si Aceh loh. Oh berarti bro, kita menang ini, kita lanjut bro. Let's go. Ini menyemangati doang time outnya ini. 2-0, yoi lah.
Let's deal with this guy, and then we're good for the round. No, everyone is showing up. We've seen Bone Cold in that last second clutch to grab them 3 kills on the site and win it when even I thought the round was
Lihat tuh si Cernet tuh, rambutnya rambut Dora.
Performance from Ascend on a map that Supermassive Blaze are known for being dominant on. Let's take that away and even say Turkey are known for being dominant.
Oh tiap pemain dikasih mejanya gede-gede banget bro.
Need 3 rounds in a row to even get an overtime.
Yeah, I think we're in a spot now as
Oh
well.
dipel rusak nggak? Rusak lah. Ini nggak dipel, cuma dilap-lap doang. Nggak dipel.
They like to get up in your face. They like to take these aggressive duels, and Ascend have just slowed things down. Late defaults, late pushes into the site.
Yo bro, menangin bro.
Lost the round on time moments ago, and in the round before, a round after even, they planted with 10
Ya nih Turko udah agresif nih, easy ketahuan. Oh enggak. Ya itu turret kok ngeliat sih. Oh ngeliatnya malah ke situ. Iya takut langsung. Kok turretnya bisa nggak ngeliat sih tuh moncongnya padahal udah jelas gitu.
Man advantage. They called a tactical timeout just before this Ascend, letting Supermassive Blaze sit in it, and now they'll run the clock down and do much of the same.
Ngapain itu nggak makin tembok? Nggak ada orangnya. Nggak ada orangnya masih di Molly. 200 perak itu bro, telurnya.
3 players on this site. If they can trade effectively, sure it's going to go great, but they need to shut this man down. early, and that's
Aduh,
exactly what they
sayang sekali dari headshot nggak mati. Dapat 2 dong si Brick. GG Ejet for Achen bro, Cernet terlalu jago.
Sure, he can do a lot with it, but in a 1v4, the pack mentality of Ascend, there's so much to deal with here, and yeah, the turret is going to be problem number 1. 13-9.
GG bro, Achen terlalu jago bro.
Have walked away with the win on Supermassive Blaze's map pick. They have won the first match of Masters 3.
That is an incredibly good sign.
Yo, apa mousepad oh jadi banteng. Teng 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 teng. Coblos gambar banteng.
We've got a bull on stage, and you know what? I describe him as exactly that. The whole team aggressive, feeling it on the back of Bone Cold's IG yelling. We saw him; he was stone cold on the first map, taking a bit of a hit when it came through to this. When the Astra not requiring the same.
Wis peluk-peluk lagi bro. Awal-awal peluk-peluk, akhir-akhir peluk-peluk menang bro.
I love it as well because I was wondering coming into this tournament, like, will we have anybody along the lines of
Health-nya 14 loh, hoki banget, keding gak mati.
anyone out there who's gonna do it, and I was like, maybe Starzo, but that's the whole team. They're all getting involved, having a great time, and honestly,
Ini lo main pada resolusi gepeng sih.
this is a map that they
Biar FPS lebih tinggi kali ya.
not look particularly good. Now coming in against what I would have said coming into this tournament as the best Ascent team from EMEA, and wait, they made them look mortal.
They absolutely did. 2-0, Tom. You were saying
Easy bro.
Map, it's 2-1. I don't know.
Banteng enjoy. Menang langsung banteng lagi.
Going to be pretty thankful because she said if we get to a map 3, even though it was quite probable. So she's still technically in the right on that one.
Gak ada map 3 bro, map 2 beres langsung.
This is exactly the form that we want to see them on coming into this tournament. He did. 2 in the pistol, 0 in the rest of the half.
Tapi gak ada ace ini, gimana ini? Belum ada ace turnamen ini.
Had that star 2 or 3 rounds out of CNED, but for the most part, this was a tight-knit pack. And I loved the last round where they took that pack mentality.
Itu di shorter kok gak mati? Shorternya pas banget loh, kok gak mati?
That's where they make aggressive plays. That's where they push. And if
Wih,
you play a default,
easy
you might just
bro.
play right into that hand.
Kasihan SIB padahal udah mainnya udah bener tapi masih kalah. Tuh lihat gara-gara ini kalah nih. Gara-gara tembakan 2 itu kalah mereka. Tembakan hoki itu.
It's not like any of their players, in my mind at least, were particularly missing. It was just a few crunch rounds, like the one where basically we should have seen Ascend lose to time, where things just went a little bit wrong, and from then onwards.
Udah beres, main lagi nanti berarti mereka.
Well, no surprises.
Lanjut guys setelah ini. Enggak lah, gak kuat aku. Capek bro. Gak dibayar lagi. Di takedown lagi videonya.
But realistically, we know this is an incredibly tough group.
Ya udah 2-0 untuk Achen, easy game bro. Musuhnya tidak berbobot. Cernet terlalu jago. Katanya streamer sampai di takedown. Iya nih, gua takedown sendiri. Wawancara kamu yakin masuk klub? Enggak lah, udah lah. Easy lah bro, Cernet terlalu jago bro.
Of game 1 here in Berlin for Masters 3. Now it's time to go to a break, and when we come back, we'll be looking.
Ya udah break kan, ya udahlah. Oke guys, gua sekian dulu nobar ya, karena kalau dilanjut lagi mungkin kemungkinan takedownnya makin gede. Ya jadi makasih buat kalian yang udah menemani. Semoga kalian sehat selalu, banyak rezeki, dan juga kalau nge-stream VCT kayak gini nggak di takedown ya guys. Amin guys. Oke, sekian stream ini. See you guys next stream atau next video. Bye bye.